Bam. We're live.
Is it safe?
Yes, it's safe. It's very safe. It's so safe you wouldn't believe it.
Is it safe?
God, I love the bass when that thing rolls in. Whoa, 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 whoa. Is Kash Patel going already? I can't believe how many of you are in the comments already this morning. What's going on? They hand out meth to the group or what? Bam, it's safe. Clock, maybe you should change your profile picture to just this Matuthian. And you could put some hands on it. Yeah. Brandon Lecoq. I just got my Matuthian and I use it to scrub down the helmet of my penis. That's fine. It works. Be gentle. Use a soft toothbrush. Good morning, everyone. I'm really excited. I really like Alexis Raptis, or as we call her in the hood, Winnie. Corey Leonard, what's up? Does Alexis support this onesie? I don't know. She's a Michigan girl. Who knows? I don't know those Michiganders. I really like her though. I really think she's cool. I don't know who to watch today, Tulsi or Kash. Oh, dude, Kash is going to be awesome. Tulsi talks so slow. Her time will be gone like that. Hi. I'm Tulsi. No, Tulsi. Training Think Tank, TTT. Home with Max L. Hodge, Travis Mayer. It's good people over there. Wholesome group, right? It was kind of sad to see them separate with the blonde-haired Superman dude, Brandon. She's a good dude. Yeah, dude, she's the best. I'm excited for her. Always for the last few years, since she popped on the scene, has glimmers of a championship caliber. She's one click away from being the best. She's been a huge threat always whenever she takes the field. So pretty cool. I mean, if there was no Lucy Campbell pop up on the scene, she'd have taken second at Wodapalooza. That's crazy. And if you haven't seen the Hiller video, you should watch it. It's got 90,000 views now. It's really fascinating how a video like that that's so simple can keep your attention the entire time. And it's a long video. Hiller's pacing's absolutely fantastic. And there's the kind of one of the foundations of the entire video is Hiller in the spa with Alexis Raptis. And it's cool. It's really cool. That's one of the first things I'm gonna ask her. How did you guys end up in the spa? How did that, like, you went in and he's like, hey, can I come in and interview you? Yeah, the Hiller video is great. The pacing's great. The questions are great. But there's something fun about watching Hiller establish relationships with the subjects. And you know what's interesting about both of them is I'm guessing both of them are loners. I mean, I know Hiller is, right? Hiller, we always see him in these situations where he's talking to people or he's with people. But the truth is the guy really just wants to fucking be left alone. And if it was up to him, he'd probably just stay at home all day, work out with Alexis, and make videos. And so there's a part of him that I know that's pushing himself out of his comfort zone. He has a very nice house. He works really hard. He's got his shtick. He has his, he has a few really high profile clients he trains. He doesn't talk about. He's got his training program. He's a urban hermit. But then and then the athletes are a lot of them are like that too. Alexis just has her routine. She probably is the same 4 people she sees every day, eats the same shit every day. And so she's probably, I don't want to say they're socially awkward people, but they're socially constricted people. And then you see them come together for 2 days and work in harmony. And I just love it. I saw the length of the video and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to watch this. And I pushed it all the way off until yesterday because it was so long. And I absolutely loved it. I was hypnotized. I put it on the TV here at the Newport house. And my kids just gathered around me in my arms and we watched the whole thing. They loved it. They love Hillard. They loved Alexis. There's something about her, right? For those of us who watched the Wonder Years as kids, I mean, it's the it's nuts how much she reminds me of Winnie. The way she looks, how cool she is. Yeah, she's wedding material, right? You bring Alexis Raptis home to your parents and hi.
Hi. Do I need
What's up?
headphones?
I do what you want. You're Alexis
Okay.
Raptis.
I can't get them to work. So, how
Hey,
are
is that?
you?
I'm awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm really excited to hang with you.
I'm excited to hang with you.
Is that your natural hair color, Alexis?
Yes. Fun fact,
That-
I've never dyed my hair.
Man,
You
look
like it?
dude, it's awesome. Your hair
Why?
is awesome. You know, it's just dark and long and it's cool. You have great hair.
Thank you. It is very, I mean, it's so long. I can't even see it. I got to
I
get
would-
it.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. Is it tempting? So you're out there, you're going full speed. Does that ever get in the way? I mean, I'm not encouraging you to cut it at all. It's absolutely marvelous. But are you ever like, hey, I could just chop all this off and not worry about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's always in my way. I get so annoyed by it. I feel like every day. But then when I wear it down, I'm like, I don't want to cut it.
You're like, my shit's cool.
Yeah, I'm like, but I mean, my hair's 90% of the time in a ponytail, so I should cut it, but I can't. I've cut it before, and I'm always like, ugh, no, that's not it.
Yeah, don't cut it. Don't cut it. Hey,
No.
congrats on Wodapalooza.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun. It was kind of a crazy week. Didn't go exactly like planned, but when does it ever? But it was so fun. I freaking had a blast.
What didn't go as planned?
I started, so when did I get there? I got there on Tuesday. So the Sunday before, I was like at my friend's for dinner, and I just remember being like, I just feel off right now. And I just kind of knew what was happening, but I was like, you're fine. And then Monday, I went in to train, and it was going to be like a normal training day, 2 sessions. I get there, I'm like in the middle of my first, and I like look at Adam, I'm like, I feel horrible right now. I need to go home and just sleep the rest of the day. And so I did. And it's like before you get sick, you just know something's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of just like here and then here. And it wasn't too bad. And Tuesday, that was the day because I was in Georgia and we had like a snowstorm or something.
And that's the home of Training Think Tank, George, where you were in
Yeah.
Georgia. You went to the mothership. Okay.
Yeah. And so that was like the day that Florida got hit with 5 inches of snow on the beach. And so everything was just like delayed. My flight was delayed. People like my coach's kids' school was canceled. Like Georgia was just shut down. And so I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to get out to Florida by the end of the day. And so my flight gets delayed. I don't get there until late. The airport's just like filled with people. I've got like 2 giant suitcases, 2 carry-ons. Like I'm just a mess, and I can just feel my body just like tanking. And so I get there, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then the day before Wednesday, I'm like, yeah, so I'm sick. So this is great.
Fever, or you have a cold or the flu, or you COVID or something like that?
I don't know if it was it might have been the flu. It might have been like a really bad sinus infection because I still have a cough. I mean, it's been over a week now, and I'm still like coughing this like nasty deep cough and like coughing stuff up. So I
Don't
don't
you
know
love coughing
exactly.
stuff up though? Isn't that kind of fun?
I mean, yeah, until you're like with someone filming you all day and you're like coughing it up and you're like, okay, I literally have to swallow this right now. It's disgusting. And so that kind of sucked, but honestly, like the adrenaline kicks in and you're fine when you're out there, but like everything just felt much harder. Like even this is so embarrassing, but walking, I don't know, were you there?
No. But I
Okay.
watched from home.
Yeah, so from the warm-up area to one of the stages we were on, we had to walk through the sand. Like, I don't know how far it was. It probably wasn't that far, but in my head, I'm like, I'm breathing heavy walking to the venue. I'm like, this cannot be good. And then in the middle of the workout, you kind of forget about it. Adrenaline kicks over. You're like, yeah, I'm fine. And then after every workout, it almost felt like I couldn't talk because it was like burnt like fire in my chest. And so I was like, 2-day competition, I'm fine. But then after that, like, oh, my body was just not feeling great. But it was fine. It was just frustrating to be like, I'm showing up the healthiest I've ever been, and then I got like the flu or whatever.
Do you have any tactics in dealing with that? Like, do you gurgle salt water, or do you have a Vicks vapor rub?
I mean,
right before you go out, you snort your Vicks vapor rub.
I did. Yeah, I did all the things. Like,
Yeah.
have you heard of the neti pot? I was like doing the
Yeah.
neti pot
Love the
before
neti
all
pot.
the
Yep.
workouts. Like honey, putting honey in my throat, tea. I mean, literally everything. Hot shower. Like a hot shower was just getting everything out, which felt good.
Didn't you
But,
feel really selfish, like you were going to get the other athletes sick? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well,
I don't
that's
give
the
a fuck.
thing. I
I'm
think a lot
joking.
of people were sick. I think a lot of like everyone was coughing on each other. Like it was
Yeah,
gross.
awesome. Good.
So I wasn't the only one sick. So I'm like, it's fine.
You guys were bonding. Hey,
Literally.
I have this thing. It's like a neti pot. I wish I could remember the name of it.
Is it a Navage?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we have one of those. It's sweet.
Oh my God. And you can
Yeah.
you put that thing in your nose and push the button. If I can get a full round with no drip,
Yeah.
I feel like
Oh, money. It's so good.
it's so good. And it says to use warm water, but I like cold water too.
Oh, really? No, I do the warm water, and then I've gotten the they're like eucalyptus ones, and that like extra clears you out. It kind of burns a little, like in a good way though.
Yeah.
And you'll have to try those. They're good.
Yeah, you would have had you would have loved cocaine. I'm assuming you never did meth or cocaine.
No, I cannot say I have.
Yeah, the burn is you start to really enjoy the burn. It's cool. Yeah,
It's like a good hurt.
Yeah, like a horseradish or wasabi or yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that thing's sweet. I love that thing.
The Navage is kind of crazy too, because if you do it before you go to bed, then sometimes in the middle of the night, like I'll roll over and it'll wake me up because there'll be stuff in there and it'll just like pour out on my pillow. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know where it gets stored.
I had Tier. They are making like a little mini documentary, and so I had someone come out to Georgia and film me for a day of training before I went to Wodapalooza. And then when I was there, I didn't even know that it was going to be this intense, but like they were with me every single day. Like when I woke up before the competition, they were there, like literally watching me brush my teeth until the end of the day for both the days. And so obviously he's like, his name is Chadrick. I don't know if you've met him. He's just like a huge guy. And so he was with me the whole day filming. And so he's getting all the shots of me just like getting all this crap out of my nose, neti potting, horking up like phlegm. I'm like, you better not put that in this documentary because it was gross. And then I was doing like the nebulizer. One of my friends brought one of those. So I was like breathing in the water vapor or whatever. So people will get a nice real picture of that week, that's for sure.
Oh, I've never seen this thing, the nebulizer. What does that do? Is that like a neti pot?
I think so. I don't know. I just
Does water go in your nose? Does anything go in your nose?
It wasn't like, it was more like vapor kind of. I don't know, but I tried everything. I was like putting essential oils like on my chest and doing the whole thing.
Tier gave you that nebulizer?
No, Tier didn't. My friend did.
Oh, that's
Tier
good.
brought someone to film me. And I mean, we had a lot of fun, but I kind of felt bad because he's probably sick. I was coughing all over everyone.
How did that guy, what's the deal with that dude's name? Chadrick. One of his parents wanted to name him Chad, the other Patrick, and they couldn't agree. Chadrick? I never heard of that name. Chadrick.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't call him his name for like the first whole day because I didn't want to mess it up. I was just like, I don't know how to. But yeah, people call him Chag
with a G.
Chag.
His name is Chad and Patrick, which is Chadrick, but people call him Chag.
Yes. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, we were like
documentary that's out. Is that the documentary that's out? I saw a tier
no.
documentary. It's out. It's pretty. I only watched the first 5 minutes so far, but it's. I can't believe how good it is and how fast they made it.
Yeah. No, that one was sweet. That was the tier SoCal. This is something completely different. I think there's one of me, and then there's gonna be one of Ricky, apparently.
I know that I was really excited because Andrew was talking about going there and filming with you and Erica Folo, and I knew he was really excited. And then at the last, I spoke to him, I don't know, Sunday night for very briefly, and I said, "How was hanging with Raptis and Folo?" And he said he didn't hang with Raptis, and he goes, "I go, why?" And I can't remember what he said, but the sentiment I got is that he kind of got scared away from the tier guys. Like, not
Oh,
that they did anything to him, but just he thought it would be too much.
yeah. I
Like
know.
that
I need
he
to
would
text him
interfere.
because like I said, I didn't know that they were gonna film me that much. It was like a surprise to me too. And so I was expecting like, oh, they'll just kind of be back there in the warm-up area filming me a little bit, and then I can have like Hiller and Tier doing kind of something together. But then yeah, they were with me from 8 a.m. until after the competition was over every night. So it was just too much. I gotta text him and be like, yeah, sorry, I literally could not have filmed with you even if I wanted to, which
Well,
sucks.
he
But I
read the
did.
room. So he read the room, right? It was kind of smart that he did that, you think?
Yeah, I mean, they were with me like literally the entire day. Like there was one point before the last workout, I was like, my body was just checked out. Everything felt hard warming up. And Chadrick was, I mean, he's like filming every part of my warm up too. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh. And so he has Adam, my coach, mic'd up. And so I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to be rude. And so I like texted Adam and I was like, can you please get him out of my face?
Mm.
I'm like starting to get really like nervous and almost like irritable. And I'm just like, I don't want to be mean.
Mm.
And so he left me alone for like 5 minutes. And then I ended up doing the event and I did really well. And I went up to him. I'm like, hey, sorry. Like, Adam, like, because Adam ended up going up to him and saying something to him. And he was like awesome about it. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I was just so nervous. And like, you were really just in my space. And I just couldn't handle it. And he was like, oh, it's okay. I could hear everything that you said to Adam. And I was picking up.
That's
I was
awesome.
like, whoops. There was one part, Adam goes to me, he's like, because I'm just like annoyed. I'm like, not like, ugh, everything feels hard. And he's like, okay, well, what movement feels the worst right now? Like, let's work on that for a little bit before we go out into the corral. I'm like, everything feels bad. Nothing feels good. And he's like, when I heard that, I was just so stressed. He's like, oh my gosh. But it ended up going well, so it was fine. But yeah, they were with me the whole time.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Alexis, there was a workout where there was bench press in it, and you guys had to carry the bench back and forth. It
Oh
comprised
yeah.
of 2 ballistic blocks,
Yeah.
and I was told those were 70 pounds each. Is that true?
I was told they were 70 pounds each as well. I think they
Okay,
were. Yeah. I mean,
they were heavy.
they weren't light, but they didn't feel heavy, to be honest. Like I just flinged it over my back and carried it. But some people pick 2 up. That would have been really heavy for me. Um and I'd have to go back and look and see if it actually helps people, but I don't know. It wasn't like that was the workout at all. They
Well,
weren't.
for Lucy, I mean, obviously she was able to do all the other stuff fantastically, but she carried both, and
Oh, really?
for her that was the determining factor. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
her and one other girl. I don't know if it was Laura, but the two front
No, it wasn't
runners,
Laura.
the two
Oh.
front runners in that workout. I can't remember who the other girl was. Fuliano, maybe. I can't remember, but they both carried both, and it was pretty crazy.
Oh, see, that's what annoys me is that like that was actually one of the most fun workouts of the weekend. But when it's like, I don't know, I just like when things are equal and there's just like boom, 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 we're all doing the same thing. Cause then I'm like, oh, this is like she's fitter than me in this, or she's just better at this today, whatever. I'm like, ugh, I probably could have. Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm like, ugh, I hate when like stuff like that.
Yeah, you should watch that final event. It's pretty impressive. Do you know her? Lucy Campbell?
No, I didn't know her. I didn't know her until last week, and then I didn't even really get to know her, but I squeezed her like I knew her, and hopefully she didn't think it was weird. I was just happy for her. I'm like, I don't even like, this is sweet. You just won.
That's something I would say instead of hug. I would say I squeezed someone. I would get in so much trouble for it. There'd be a Reddit thread.
Yeah,
I
no,
hear
she was
me
cool.
squeeze someone.
And I'm not exactly sure. I think she's been injured or something. But I heard
She had a wrist injury. She was out for 2 years.
Oh, really? Wait, with a wrist injury?
I think she had a wrist injury that was really bad.
Oh.
And then she was at the games, and she won an event at the games, but everyone just kind of referred to her as a one-trick pony because it was a swim event.
Oh, what year was that? 2023 in the
It was
pool?
the year you guys were in the pool, and I think you did the erg and swimming
Oh,
or
yeah.
some mixture like that.
Okay. Is she she's Australian or
I think she's British. I think.
Oh, British.
She does
Okay.
have a strong accent.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, she's super aerobic. Like she crushed last week. That was cool.
How about the dumbbells? They were 50s.
Were they 50s? Yeah, they were 50s. They felt fine. I think it was just by the time we did that, because that was the 5th workout, I mean, I was just kind of like tired a little bit. My body was a little tired, but they felt good. It was a lot faster. Like the way that I practice it in training, it didn't hurt that bad. Like my burpees weren't as fast. And so I think my dumbbells felt harder there because of that. I was like racing. But yeah, I mean, it felt good. It was basically just like a bench workout. The chest to bars were irrelevant. I would have liked if they were like 50 chest to bar, not 50 burpee, but like 50 chest to bar, 25 burpee, 50 bench. I don't know. They like brought it back down to 40 for some reason. And then I wish it ended with 50 chest to bar because I think that would have been more like you can get away with 25 at the end even if you're not that good at them. You know?
I heard we know one of the things Wodapalooza has that cool scheme where they do 2 days of individuals and then 2 days of teams, so people can do both.
Oh yeah.
And then you remember the first year they did that, Dylan basically came back and said, "Hey, if going forward, we're going to make the individual a little bit easier in the programming." My words, not his, so that the athletes aren't so beat up, so that they feel it's more approachable to do both.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's maybe the reason why the workouts were the way they were.
Yeah, not very dense. Probably.
Yeah, they don't want. Did you leave it all beat up?
I wasn't. It was more my my calves from the sand. Like I think everyone's calves were really sore from we did that beach run, and then I think also the sled pull one too, and then the box jump overs. Like my calves were really sore. I had to work on those Thursday night, but then everything else, like I really wasn't that sore. It was more just I was just freaking sick. But
Jenny says that she won two events at that games, the 2022 games. But I think then after that, she took a ton of like 30ths, 30th, 35th. She won 2 events and then had a bunch of 30ths.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm excited to see what she can do this year. I mean, she definitely is fit, so.
Tell me about the sled event. What was that like? It was hard to tell. Whenever there's lanes and there's people pushing sleds, all of us from home are always like, "Hey, are all the lanes even? Are all the lanes fair? How do they do that?"
Yeah.
Did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing with the box. Like, I don't know if like your lane, like everyone's lane is gonna be a little different, so it's not like equal, I guess. And then I don't want to say hate, but I just like it's frustrating when an event comes down to like almost perfect execution because it's like, okay, one little trip up and that's 3 seconds and that could be like 3 or 5 spots on the leaderboard. And it's like, that's not really your fitness. It's more like who figured out how to like turn the sled around quicker or you know what I mean? It's not like
you want to see more capacity than execution. You want to see more heavy on capacity.
Yeah, because I'm like, "Ugh, I'm good at like I'm a good rower. I'm good at toes to bar." And then like I tripped on the sand, like I fell at one point. I'm like, oh. And then multiple girls passed me, and so I actually don't know what I got in that workout, like on the leaderboard, but I think that was probably one of my worst. If I'd had to guess, because like I just didn't execute it perfectly, and then it ended up costing me multiple spots. So I I don't know. I feel like maybe not a sled would be the most equal, but I mean it's cool. Like it's a cool event and it was fun. Um I think it's more just like personally I'm like annoyed with how I ended up doing with it. So I didn't love that one. But on paper it was a cool workout, and I think if it was like not in the sand it would have been a little bit different, but
Were there
um
any obvious differences in the lanes that you noticed? Like, did you notice? No, nothing like
no, it
there weren't
wasn't
ones
like
that were like
that. It was
pulling
more
water.
just
Okay.
yeah, and like I think too if you're taller, because I know like I remember watching Kyra at the end, she had a hard time like pulling the sled, and it was probably because she's like really short, and so if you're taller, I was watching some of the other heats, and like if you're taller, you can like pull the front of the sled up and then it dragged easier. So it was just like little things like that where
Mm,
I'm like, eh.
that's huge.
Yeah, I mean it's huge in a workout like that. It's such a fast workout. Um,
The people who were winning, the front of their sled was coming up. Did you have to grab the sled at the straps at a certain point, or could you have choked up as far as you wanted?
um, no, I
It-
think you could have. I don't know. I think you had to put your hands in it, but then you
okay.
could have put them anywhere. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I was definitely frustrated with that one, but uh, it is what it is.
How long have you been? Your coach's name is Adam Rogers,
Yeah.
and how long have you been with him?
This is going on 6 years.
And
Yeah.
that seems almost like a long time in this space where it seems like people every couple of years are moving.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, we've done so well together. He has, I mean, he has put so much into me, and um, he's so smart and he's so good with me. Like, we are kind of opposites, which I think works. Um, he's like very just like calm and controlled and like analytical, and he just like keeps me really grounded, and he knows how I work and operate, and yeah, we're just an amazing team. And honestly, like I trust him completely 100%, and so I don't know, like I'll never really understand why people bounce around so much, because honestly, like yeah, I think the code, like the programming does matter to an extent, but I think when you get to a certain level, like you're going to get better if you're training hard. Um, and it takes like years to build a relationship. Like any relationship takes time. And so if you're constantly like changing, you're never actually getting like the full potential out of that relationship, because they don't probably even know you. Like I don't think it's so I don't know. I don't think it's like the coach, if you have like a different coach every year, it's like it's probably you, and you need to like trust them better. I don't know, because I trust him. I'm gonna stay with him honestly throughout my whole career. Like he's the best. Literally, I cannot ask for more.
Um, there was this line I heard Ben Bergeron say that things grow at the speed of trust,
Mhm.
and in all the areas in my life where there's trust, that's like where it absolutely grows. The
Oh
fast.
yeah.
It's absolutely crazy how efficient things are when I fully trust someone. And even if like some people might perceive that in that relationship someone broke my trust, I still don't care, because the value I get in staying and trusting them,
Mm.
like I kind of think it's on them. You know what I mean? If they betrayed my
Yeah.
trust, I try not to take ownership of it. I'm like, well, you betrayed my trust, but it's like I still trust you. That's on you, and you know you
Yeah.
did that, and that's on you. But why in a relationship with a coach Is there anything you can point to? Is it nuanced, or are there actual, like, why it's so important to trust your coach?
I mean, if you're in the middle of a competition and you're stressed out, like we always are, and you can't trust your coach to give you their best interest in what you should be doing. Like, I mean, when I'm training for like the games, I mean, he is there for every session. Like, he knows probably better than me what I'm capable of. Like, honestly, there's times where he'll tell me to do something and I don't even think I can do it. And he knows I can do it. He makes me do it. And then after, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, the trust that I have in him is so great because he's proven, like, time and time again, that he just knows me so well. And so when you go out there and you're like, I trust this plan that my coach has given me. And granted, like, there's gonna be times where you're in the middle of workout and maybe you feel really good and you go off script or something. Like, that's completely fine. But you have to trust your coach, because if you don't, like, I don't think you're ever going to find your true potential. Like, if I didn't trust him and I just went off of like my feelings and emotions, I would not be as good as I am right now at all. Like, he pushes me farther than I want to go at times, and I completely just surrender to that because I'm like, I know that I can do it. And like, there's times obviously where I've failed and it didn't work out, but more times than not, like, I do surprise myself and I do things that I didn't even think I could do. But he believes in me and he has a plan and he knows. And even like before the event that I won at Wodapalooza, like, I didn't feel great going into it, but I know I can do it. And so any negative thoughts I have in my head or doubts or rep schemes or whatever, he's like, no, you can do this. Like, it doesn't matter how you feel right now. Like, you did this in training. You've done this. He remembers everything. He'll pull like stats up from years ago that I did. He's like, you did this then, like, you can do this now. And it's like, I just trust him. And if you don't have that, like, you're going to constantly be doubting yourself. You're going to constantly be like fixating your energy on things that aren't important, that you don't need to worry about. And when you're at the CrossFit games, you're at a big competition, like, that just sucks energy out of you. Like, that's not what you should be worrying about as an athlete. Like, there's stuff that he has to worry about as a coach, and like, that is his responsibility. And it takes so much off my plate, because for me, I just need to go out there and do what I'm told, basically. And that's how I do really well. So for me, like, the trust thing is everything. And he trusts me, I trust him. And yeah, there's times where like things don't go as well, or maybe he messes up on his end, I mess up on my end. But even when that happens, like, it's not like trust is ever broken, because we grow from that and we learn from that, and it almost brings us closer. So I think it's so important. And honestly, like, it's been 6 years and we are still like just learning and growing and like building our relationship, which is so cool. Like, he has seen like every part of my journey from when I was like I was 19 or 20, just turned 20 when I started working with him. And I mean, who I was then, I mean, a baby. And so back then, like, I remember not trusting him. I remember not trusting him for years, and it did me no good. Like, our relationship was not very close. I was constantly second guessing, questioning everything on the programming. I would do things behind his back because I thought like I needed to do more or work on other things, and like, it just didn't work. And as soon as I started like truly trusting him is when like the magic started happening. And it's just been so cool to watch like that relationship grow into, like, I almost feel like I'm a part of their family now, him and his wife, and he's got 2 boys. And I mean, I feel like they would just do anything for me, and it's just cool. Yeah.
So you'll go into an event, and maybe this is oversimplification. But if you don't like what's going on in your head, you can turn your brain off and just use his head. And he fully believes in you. And so you can just basically be like, it's basically turns into one mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be like things on the fly that I got to change or whatever. But there's a lot of times where I'll go into workout and I don't feel like I can do something, but I just stick to the plan that he gave me. And more times than not, like I end up doing it and I end up finishing the workout. I'm like, I'll look at him and just be like, how the heck did I just do that? He's like, what do you mean? I knew you could. And I'm just like, it's just cool.
Jeremy World, does Andrew Hiller smell bad?
No, he smelled fine to me.
No soap, Andrew.
Yeah. No
Is she?
soap.
Alexis is a hippie. I mean, come on.
I hope I don't smell bad.
Can we get Alexis to flip the phone on its side? It's up to you. How's your phone looks great.
Oh, I can flip it.
Is it called chaos?
Oh no. Hold on.
It's fine. You don't have to.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, we can, but it's no good.
Oh, actually, hold on. I think if I do that. There we go.
Oh wow, look at that. Alexis, Andrew came out there for 2 days and filmed a really, really cool video. Were you happy with how that turned out?
Oh yeah, I was really happy with how it turned out. I wasn't sure because he filmed a lot and then it was like a lot was cut out. But yeah, it was sweet. Like I really enjoyed my time with him more than I thought I would actually.
Yeah, he's there to he's interesting, right? Got an interesting vibe to him, yeah.
Yeah. No, he's great. And I felt like at first, I mean, I didn't know him, so it's like, oh, kind of the trust thing. I'm like, I don't trust you yet. And he could tell. And it was almost like after one day with being with him, I'm like, oh, you're cool. Like you're a homie. And I could have hung out with him. I could have hung out with him all week, honestly. I didn't get sick of him, which I was surprised by that because he was with me for like 3 days, which was nice.
When I started the show, I'm like, hey, that's the big thing, right? I was basically talking about how you probably hang out with the same 4 or 5 people every day. You have your routine. You're probably, you're a hermit in your own way. And Andrew is not a people person. He wants to stay.
Really?
No. He's complete. Yeah. He wants to stay just in his world. Like he's not like excited to go anywhere. I think whenever he goes out and films with these athletes, he's doing it to push himself out of his comfort zone.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And so it's these 2 people who are used to having so much time with themselves.
Yeah.
And then coming together in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Doing the opposite, right? Just giving of themselves.
Yeah.
As opposed to taking care of their shit.
Yeah. I mean, there was one day, I mean, I do a lot of training in the garage and it's kind of like, I mean, not very glamorous. And my parents were like, or my dad was like, you should take him to the gym. Like, he doesn't want to be in the garage all day. And I'm like, well, this is a day in the life. Like, this is my life. Like, I'm just going to show what it's actually like. And I was a little worried because I'm like, this garage is small. Like, it's going to get loud and I'm going to want to be in my zone. And he's just going to be like trapped in this little box. But it was actually awesome. Like, he was good company. He was easy to talk to. He honestly didn't act like an introvert or that he was like uncomfortable at all. So hopefully like I made it easy on him to kind of feel like, oh, I don't have to be like thinking of a million questions to ask her or uncomfortable or whatever. So I'm glad that he was able to. I think he actually really did enjoy his time. I don't know.
I think he did too.
Yeah, it was fun. I felt like he just kind of became a part of our family for like 2 days. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
How did you guys end up in the hot tub together? That was so cool how that was kind of the thread of the whole video.
Yeah. So we were going to do a sit down interview and I think I didn't know he was coming until after I had booked this Christmas thing for my best friend and I and our moms. It was like a little pottery night thing. And I was like, oh shoot, it's the Saturday that he's going to be here. And so we were training all day and I had to rush and I was like, I want to do some recovery thing, but I also want to do this. Like, we need to get this interview done, but I don't want to just sit on a couch after I just train. I'm like, can we, like, I don't know, sit in the hot tub and do this? Is that weird? And he's like, oh, no, like, that would be great. I can just sit outside of it and film you. And I'm like, okay, but it's also probably going to be, like, it was freezing outside. So I'm like, if you want to get in and set it up, like, would that work? And he was like, yeah, let's try it. And it ended up being cool. Like, it was just nice to not feel like I don't know, like the sit down interview is fine on the couch, but I was like, this is almost more me than anything because we're just hanging out. And it's comfortable. So we kind of like killed two birds with one stone before I had to go to this thing. And I was like so rushed and behind that day. So we kind of just did that to squeeze in time. But yeah, watching the video back, I'm like, oh, that's like different. I've never seen that happen in an interview. So I'm kind of glad
Oh, it was
that it
cool. It
worked
was
out.
fun. It was funny. It was
Yeah.
like, in the beginning, it was awkward for some reason. I was like, oh, this is awkward. And by the end, I was like, oh, this is genius.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully he'll come back and we'll do another one because I would love to do that.
That place where everything's taking place, is that at your parents? So in my mind, I think, okay, you live in Georgia, that's your training place, and for some reason you're at home now visiting your family. And so
Yeah.
was that your family's house? When you go back to Michigan, you're staying with your family?
Yes. Yes.
And in the garage, in your parents' garage is set up for you to train?
Yes. Yeah.
That is so cool. Your parents,
It's awesome.
and when you're not there, it's there for you.
Yeah. And my whole family uses it. Like, my brothers don't live here, but anytime they come over, we all work out. My parents work out every day in there. So it kind of started during COVID. We just started buying stuff, and now we're at the point where we have pretty much everything. The only things we don't have are a rope to climb with and a GHD. And I mean, there's not a lot of space. So like, if it's winter, I can't like walk on my hands for 50 feet. But if it's in the summer, like I'm on the driveway walking, and so it works. But it's basically fit for my body only. If you're any bigger, you're going to hit your head on the ceiling. But it's amazing. Like, I've actually, when I first got here, because I didn't plan on spending this much time in Michigan. And so the first like month of training here, I was just kind of like adjusting and being like, I don't know. Like, once it gets cold, I feel like it's gonna be rough. But I actually have embraced it so much to the point where I like crave being in a garage by myself. Like, I have control over everything. I can crank the music. I can put it as hot or cold as I want. I don't have to talk to anyone. Like, I'm so efficient in there. I just have like everything I need, and I don't know, something about it is just, it fires me up when I'm in there. I love it so much.
How long have you been there?
I've been here. I mean, I was in Georgia last month, but I got here after the games in August, and I made trips to Georgia, so I guess not, I wasn't here the whole time, but I've stayed until the holidays. Yeah. So it was a while. Like, this is the longest I've been home, and since I was like in high school.
And then you also have a place to stay in Georgia. You have your own place there.
I'm homeless right now, technically.
Oh, nice. So when you go back there, you stay with someone, or you stay in a hotel?
No, I stayed with Adam and his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and that was another thing where I was like, because my lease in Georgia ended in December. So after that, I was like, I got to figure out what I want to do, but I'm not ready to, I don't know. I'm just not ready to like settle down and be stuck somewhere right now. And so I was like, well, I want to be in Georgia training before Wodapalooza because I haven't been with Adam in person in a while. And so I ended up staying with him, and I mean, he has a family with two boys and his wife. Like,
How old are his boys?
Worried. His boys are 9 and 12. They're pretty young. And I was like, like, you never know if it's gonna be stressful because I'm not used to like being around kids. And I don't want to be like in their way. And so I'm like, but it ended up being amazing. Like, it was so cool. I got to spend so much time with Adam. First of all, like, we drove together to the gym every single day. He was there coaching me. And then Becky, his wife, like she helps me with nutrition stuff. So like just being able to be like, I just felt like I was with my whole team for like 2 weeks, and it was amazing. I loved it. I'll probably do that again if I don't have a place. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do. But yeah, it was awesome.
So, correct me if I'm wrong on this timeline. So, Training Think Tank was at a gym, and I think it was Travis Mayer's gym, and there was a
Yeah.
section for the top dogs, and then there was a section where the affiliate was running.
Yes.
And then a few months ago, maybe a year ago, I can't remember, they moved to a new location.
Yeah, that was like right before the games. It was in August or
And
July.
and when they moved, did they move to a bigger location?
It's kind of bigger. I don't know if it's just a different shape. Like it's a huge box now, like a huge square. Before it was kind of like this like L shaped. So I
Why did
think
they
it's
move? Why did they
bigger.
move? Did their lease run out or something, or did the relationship
Yeah.
with? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was the lease. And the building, there was like a million things wrong with the building too
Okay.
at the old place.
So they move, and from the outside world, this is just how we think of it. We think of it as there's the athlete area, then there was the affiliate area, and then there's obviously the cool studio there where they
Yeah.
do all the podcasts and stuff. And so they move, and does that is the move far, and does that affect you at all?
The move was about 5 minutes away from the old place,
Okay,
so
close.
it didn't really affect me much. No.
And then recently, a guy who's a staple on their podcast, Forward Facing, the blonde Brannon.
Oh yeah,
Brannon.
Brandon. Yeah.
Brannon leaves.
Yeah.
Does that affect you at all?
No, I mean I was gone. Like I wasn't even there when that happened. I was here, wasn't I? Yeah, and he's not my coach. So I was kind of out of the loop. I didn't really know what happened until I got back there and heard about it all. So
Okay, and it doesn't change but just from the outside, he just looked like a huge staple of it, and he was a
oh yeah,
charming guy, and it looked like everyone liked him, and him and Max, I thought, had a really good. I mean, the podcast is really good. It has great numbers, and I thought that they were amazing together because they were
yeah,
just so different.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so he goes, and then, but everything else is still the same. You still have a home there if you wanted to go there and train. Adam's there. There's other super high level athletes there, and high level athletes filtering through, and so it's still a place. It hasn't changed your relationship with the gym.
No, not mine. No. Yeah, I mean Brandon's awesome. So I hope whatever he does next is like amazing for him. It's unfortunate because I do think like he was a huge part of Training Think Tank. He was doing a lot. And I'm like selfishly sad because he was really good at podcasting. Like I really enjoyed talking to
He's
him.
great. He's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. He's really, really good at that. Just good at like having a good conversation. But yeah, I don't really know like all the details just because he was never my coach. So I never got to spend a ton of time with him as in like a coach athlete role.
Was he an athlete also?
He did. I think he did like college football. He was a football
Okay.
player.
Okay.
So, and he's also like ridiculously fit, like super.
I saw him in
super
person once
fit.
at a Masters event in Phoenix, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is a man child." I
Yeah,
couldn't believe how monstrous he looked, how beefy he looked.
yeah, and he doesn't. Well, I don't know how much he trains. He definitely doesn't train like you would think he trains a ton with how
Yeah.
fit he is. He's just naturally like insanely fit and good, good at CrossFit. But I don't think I don't think he'll ever compete or do anything, but if he did, he would be insane.
What about training by yourself versus so you go into Training Think Tank, there's all these high level athletes, you get to see their scores, you get to work out beside them, and now you're by yourself. Do you think that that's made you lazy at all, or not push as hard, or?
No, literally the opposite. It's made me so tough.
Tell me, how's
Yeah.
that? That seems counterintuitive.
No. Well, I think So I've talked about this before with multiple people now. It's like at the beginning of my career, I needed that. Like I needed to be around people because I needed the push to push myself almost. And I also didn't have the confidence. So it's like I was always constantly questioning if what I was doing was good enough or fast enough, or if, I don't know, if my times were good. And um, over the years, as I've just gotten better and competed more and just like proved to myself, like my best is enough. Like I am so fit and there's no question behind it. There's no fluke. There's no like, oh, it was just because of this programming or this year. Like, no, I've been tested a million times now. Like I know where I'm at. And now it's like when I do have a push against someone, I love it. Like I do love training with people. Um, but it's not for like, it's not to push myself because I can't push myself. It's more like I love to train with people for the company. Like I just love
Mm.
good company, like good people around me. Yeah, it's not like for the other reason. Before, like I needed that. Now I'm going to go to that place on my own because I want to go to that place on my own. Like I want to
Mm.
push myself and like
Mm.
see what I'm capable of, and I don't want to ever like finish a training session and feel like I didn't give it my all, because that like irritates me the rest of the day. Like it bothers me and like eats me up, and then I'm like annoyed with myself. And so like I will push myself almost harder on my own in my garage because I'm like I have nothing to lose. Like I will go so hard because it's like no one's next to me. Like there's times where I've done a workout next to someone, I'm beating them, and I have actually like in the past, like you almost like slow down sometimes because you're like, oh, I'm already winning. Like I've got time. But when I'm by myself, and that's not always the case, but when I'm by myself, like I'm always picturing someone beating me. Like I'm always picturing
Mm.
one of these girls in my
Wow.
head, like in front of me. And so I would say like I push maybe even harder sometimes when I'm on my own. Not all the time. Like I think sometimes there's a time and place for having training partners. Like I love having someone just kick my butt or at least try and like push me, and um that definitely, like there's times before big competitions where I really want that because I want to like feel like I'm racing someone before I compete. Like that's really important because you're going to go out there and you're not going to be in first. Like it's good to feel that like, oh, I've got like people next to me. Like it's a skill in itself to compete with people. But yeah, I don't struggle with training alone at all. If anything, I really enjoy it. I mostly crave like just company, and even if that's just Adam standing there, or even if it's just my mom like doing a rowing workout next to me while I'm on the bike or something, like I just like the company.
Does your dad ever just come in there and watch you? Like pull up a chair?
Um, he doesn't really do that. He'll like open up the garage and just kind of like peek in on me and see what's going on. But so my his office is the wall connecting to the garage. So like he hears everything. So he's kind of there with me.
There's this feeling before workout starts when you push OK on the timer and it starts counting down, like
Yeah.
right before that. You know what I mean? And
Oh
then
yeah.
there's these things that come before you push that button on the remote, like, oh, should I take one more sip of water? Should I pee? Are my
Yeah.
shoes like? Has that feeling ever changed for you?
No.
It's almost like that's still just a weird feeling always.
Oh,
I mean,
I
that's a
get
weird feeling
so
always for
nervous.
me. It's like, oh shit, at some point I have to, like, you're setting the timer and you're like, fuck, sooner or later I'm gonna have to hit OK and it's gonna start
Yeah.
counting down, and I start like freaking out.
Yeah. No, I never not freak out. And I always say it. I'm like, oh, I'm so nervous. But it's just you're nervous because you want to do well. Like for
Yeah.
me at least, I'm always
Yeah.
just like,
And then you push the button and you start seeing it count down. You're like almost like this, what have I got myself into? It's almost like, and
yeah,
it's like the authority, right? It's like you can't go back now. That clock is
yeah,
telling you it's 3 seconds till go time.
yeah, yeah.
You get
It's
those
funny.
butterflies still even when you're alone in there and you do
Oh
that?
my God. Oh yeah. I think I get that every single day. but it's because like I know what I'm about to get into and I know what I'm capable of. And I just want to be able to do what I'm capable of every day and like not feel like I held back. I hate that feeling of like that regret of like, oh, I
Yeah.
should have done this, but like I was soft. I hate that feeling. But what's also cool about that like time ticking down is something about when the clock starts, it's like something switches. And so I'll be warming up and nothing, like usually when I warm up, everything feels horrible. And I'm like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I have a plan always. And then the 3, 2, 1 goes and it's like completely different. The workout feels completely different. Everything feels good. I feel great. I'm so fit. Like my lungs feel great. And I'm like, how the heck did that happen? But something about the time, the clock, like the adrenaline and 3, 2, 1 go. And it's just like, boom, different.
Like you're carrying the 70-pound dumbbell off the rack that you're going to snatch 50 times.
Yeah.
And you set
and
it down and you're like, dude, I can barely carry that over here.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then
exactly.
The clock, like, you're throwing it around like it's nothing.
Yes, literally. And that's exactly how I felt before the last event of Wodapalooza warming up. I'm like, there's literally no way. I can barely even get this wall ball up there. And then I go out there and I'm just like, who would have known? Who would have known?
Those ballistic blocks are miserable if you try to carry them sober, you know, when the clock's not going. If you were just, I don't know, deal with those, but they're horrible. It's like the most dense, awkward.
Yeah.
But you guys were just grabbing them and running. I was like, crazy.
Yeah. I've actually never used those except for the Echo Press. We did the handstand push-ups off of them.
Oh, right.
I think that's the last time I've used them. Like when did we ever use those? I don't remember.
I just know that anytime I see them, they're just dead weight. They look like trash. You know what I mean? It's just like, God, someone throw this in the garbage. Like, what is this block of just yuck?
How did you like the programming?
I thought the event was great. I thought, I would have liked to have seen you guys carry sandbags back and forth instead of do bench press maybe. Or
I thought they were going to do sandbags or like D-balls or something.
Yeah, like maybe have them get heavier and heavier each time you go back and forth. But I really enjoyed the event. I enjoyed the competition between you and Emma Tall and Lucy Campbell and Laura Horta. Yeah. The competition was so tight. They couldn't have asked for a better finale. Fuliano put on a great show. I don't know if you saw what happened to her, but one of the events she was winning and she had like 3 errors in the last 2 minutes. She put her blocks down wrong. She got a no rep on a pull up and then she tripped over her block. And so I think that's Lucy passed her at that point or something. I mean, it was so exciting. It was cool.
That is really cool. I never go back and watch. I don't really like to. I don't know why, but I kind of want to because I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, you should watch your heat. You should watch your heats. It was cool. It was competitively. It was really, really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And the boys were cool to watch. So you get home. So when they give you that $20,000 check.
Oh
and then what do they do? They just direct deposit the money into your account, or do they actually give you a check and you have to go to the bank and cash it?
No, I think they direct deposit it in. I can't remember if I fill the form out or not, but
is that fun when you go like you go online banking and there's $20,000 more than you thought?
Yeah, that's a nice little bonus for sure.
Yeah, that's fun. It's always fun when the numbers start getting big in there. You're like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like the games too when you're like prize money drops, because like prize money is kind of like it's like a bonus in your bank account. And so then you get that and you're like, oh, that's nice. That's nice.
You are doing Will Morad's competition?
Yes. Yeah. The WPF.
And are you also doing the Open?
I am. Yes.
And
am I also doing all the other? Yes.
and you're doing Mayhem Classic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the it seems like a lot to me. Is the goal to just sign up for it all and then as you go down have honest talks with yourself of which ones you're actually going to do? So basically open all the doors so you have opportunity.
Yeah.
And then like if you're going to take first place in the Will Morad competition, you can be like, okay, that's I think it's like whatever it ends up being, 70 grand, and then a contract for next year as the champ or whatever, and you're like, okay, that'll be $150,000, and the games prize purse, you know, if I think I'm going to take third, it's only going to be 72,000. I'll focus on this. Is that how you do it? Or do you have a strategy for that yet? Like, I mean, that's how I would do it. That's why I brought that up to you. I would be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to take the path of what's going to make it so that my next year I'm situated better for training and money.
Well, I haven't really sat down and thought about the prize money like you just did. So maybe I should do that. But I've kind of in my head thought like, I'm going to do all these competitions, but I'm not going to just like you can't be peaked 100% for all of them. So you kind of,
You can't.
I mean, I don't think like 100% peak. No, you kind of have to like choose what you're going to, like the WPF work events. I don't think it makes sense to be like 100% all in until the final, right? In my head.
Okay.
So I think like the big ones would be like peak for the games, peak for Rogue, and then peak for the final WPF. And then the other things like, yeah, I'm gonna stay fit, but it's not like it's the end all be all. Mayhem, I have to be really fit because I have to be top 2, but I also know like I'm not peaking for that. I just need to be good enough for that. And I know I can be. Like I got second place at semifinals, and it's basically like a semifinals. So I know I can. It's just gonna end up being like who shows up and has a really good weekend. If I don't qualify for that, I'll have to do the online qualifier. And then I mean, Wodapalooza SoCal, like the team event, if I got invited to that, that's a team workout, or a team competition, so I don't feel like I need to be peaked for that either. So there's a lot going on, but I actually don't think it sounds like a lot because it's actually like 10 events throughout the year. But I'm hoping that the way that they've programmed it, it's not too overwhelming. Like
it sounds like Will, from what I'm just gleaning from the, you know, just the chatter, that he's going to be smart with his programming.
yes.
And it's almost going to be a place for you guys to showcase skills as opposed to beat down.
Yeah,
like
that's what I heard too. And I think it's 5
maybe
events.
Maybe I heard it from you.
maybe, yeah. And it's 5 events, I think, 2 or 3 days. I think it might be 2 days. I can't remember. But yeah, like it's supposed to be like a showcase, a fun like competition, where you don't leave and you're like, oh, I gotta take 2 weeks off. Like even after Wodapalooza, it was a 2-day competition. Like if I wasn't like, once I start to feel better, like I don't want to breathe yet because my chest still kind of hurts, but physically I'm like ready to train again. I'm not feeling exhausted from last week at all. So I think if everyone's competitions are kind of like that, then I don't think it'll be like a big deal. But from the outside in, it is a little bit overwhelming. And I know I've talked to everyone about it and everyone's kind of in the same boat. Like, yeah, it's a lot of competing. Like it's not a lie. Like it's going to be a lot. And I think next year will probably have to be different if there's more WPF events. But as far as this year, like I'm just kind of looking at it as amazing opportunities. Yes, there's a lot of like money
It's a
opportunities
good problem to
as
have.
well.
It's a good problem to have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have. So I'm really excited. And now that like I'm just feeling better, I'm like I love to compete. Like I want to compete as much as I can. So as long as we can have like some good training cycles and just continue to like almost do this throughout the year, I think we'll be in a good spot.
So I propose this theory to you. So you know, James Sprague wins the CrossFit Games,
Yeah.
and internally there's this chatter, right? Was he really the fittest? Adler dropped out. The events were changed. Blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
I think that I think that's just like a really insular group. That's like, 30,000 diehard fans are talking that bullshit. I think all the people on the outside, you know what I mean? Like when the sheriff's department calls him and says, "Hey, will you come speak to our people?" They introduce him as the fittest guy in the world.
Yeah.
All, when he's on the cover of like, some magazine or all that shit, the world sees him as the fittest guy in the world. It's just the people on the inside who are like, well, what about this? What about that?
Yeah.
And so I still think that regardless of how much chatter we do on the inside, the prestige is still there. All the accolades come there, the opportunities, people inviting you, to, charity golf events, all that, stuff. And so I think he still gets all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm proposing this theory. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think that going into the competition this year with the ladies, it's what I've heard is that Laura is not doing the games this year. She's not doing the Open. And I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that. And I've heard that Tia's only committing to the Open and nothing more. And that it looks like that there's going to be some sort of relationship with her and High Rocks building.
Oh.
As you see that could also play a factor too, right? Because then it's like, holy shit, there really is it really is going to be a battle for the top in the women's division, and all of the accolades that come with being crowned the fittest human being on the planet. Because I think the vast majority of people outside the games won't be playing those, the nuance games. What if, you know what I mean? What if?
Yeah.
What if,
I
does
wonder.
Does that go into your thinking at all too?
No, to be honest, I wasn't even thinking about anyone.
Okay.
I think I'm not surprised that Laura's not doing it. Because I've heard that. But I did think Tia was doing it, which why would you do the Open if you're not going to do the season?
Well, one, because she owns an affiliate, I'm guessing. So she wants to participate, right?
Okay.
And it keeps doors open. So basically once you do the Open, the door's open, right? But if you don't do the Open, the door's not open.
So you don't think she's going to do like Mayhem Classic and try and qualify immediately and then
I have no idea. I have no idea, but like if I was her, that's what I would do too. Like if I was an athlete, no matter what, I would do the Open. It seems completely stupid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just to get the door. Like even if I was Laura and I was like, hey, there's no fucking way I'm doing the games this year, I would still do the Open. Because what if something changes? What if God forbid something happens in the venue that the Will Morad's event gets flooded? Do you know what I mean? Or there's an earthquake, or like, why would you? And then you didn't do the Open.
Yeah.
You're fucked. You know what I mean? All your options close. I mean, the Open's easy, right?
Yeah, the Open's easy, but you still have to qualify for the games. So like
right. But if you don't do the Open, you can't even do the last chance qualifier.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
you can't do anything. You can't participate you can't go on to the next level unless you do the Open. So I just figured, fuck, just do it.
Yeah. I mean, she'll for sure do Rogue. Rogue's basically like the CrossFit games when it comes to money. I don't know. Are there other? I don't know. Honestly, yeah. A lot of is she doing the WPF, Laura?
I would assume. I don't know. I haven't looked closely at the signups. I just kind of see them come in. I didn't look at them. I would assume she is. It sounds like they're inviting all the best people in the world.
Yeah.
It would make sense that they invited her and Tia.
Yeah.
I can't imagine not doing. I just can't imagine CrossFit being your life and not doing the Open. It makes for any reason. Let's say you hate the company, or let's say you just have no interest in doing the games, or whatever the reason. I just cannot imagine for the life of me, because as soon as you don't do it and those 3 weeks go by, that door's closed. And there's like, that's like 7 events, the games, it just seems risky.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just for my like career, I want to like do the CrossFit games this year.
Yeah.
And so that's where my head's at. It's like
Is that an emotional thing for you? Like for when you say your career, because it's like I would do it for the money, me personally, because like I want to be able to like put gas in my car. But for you, it sounds like you haven't even thought of that. It's more like you're attached to the idea of it or the emotion of it.
Not as I mean, maybe like the idea of the games ish, but not really. It's more just like I'm a professional CrossFit athlete, and like my job is to compete. And so like sponsors want me to compete. Like that sponsors are how I make my money and my living. Yeah, the prize money is like great if you do well at these competitions, which there's potential for me to do really well with prize money this year for sure. But it's also just like, I mean, sponsors, like, yeah, you have to make your sponsors happy, and that means like competing, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't necessarily enjoy doing the open and the online stuff and like all that stuff, because online stuff is honestly like more stressful because there's just things I have to worry about that I hate. Like I hate having to film and make sure like everything's perfect, and getting up on YouTube, and if everything's not like last year there were people who didn't go to the games because of standards and stuff. Like if it's in person, it's just like happening, you know, like, oh, I'm good to go. So that stuff's kind of stressful for me, so I'm not really looking forward to that until after I've qualified. But I mean, I can see both sides of like where people's heads are at. But I think for me, and like where I want to go with the sport and just continuing to compete and having sponsors and making money through my sponsors, like it just makes sense for me to compete, like do all the competitions this year. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what anyone else is really doing except for the people I've talked to, but I think a lot of people are going to do a lot of them this year, and we're all going to kind of figure it out together. So
Yeah, that's cool. It's going to be fun to watch.
yeah.
It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. It's a great new the thing that Will's doing is really energizing. Anytime anyone does anything in the space, it just adds more energy. So like even as simple as Dave going on his weekend review and saying it's so smart when he says it's going to be a repeat workout in the open. All of a sudden everyone's brains turn on. Like he said that in his weekend review. Hey,
like
one of the
for
open
this
workouts
open.
this year. Yeah, one of the open workouts this year is going to be a repeat. And so then like that just adds energy. So as soon as Will Morad posts, hey, I'm starting a league, it just adds energy.
Yeah.
And it's funny, some people think of it as positive or negative. I never do. I just think of it as just more, the more chatter, the better. The more things we have to talk about, the more things we have to pontificate, the more like it's all just it's like a tether ball, you know, when it comes around, if you hit it perfect, it keeps going. It's just that. It's like, all right, we got this. All right, give it a slap.
It's almost like it kind of brings people together, like a community together.
Yeah, and some people are like, well, that's positive or that's negative. I'm like, no, this is just someone throwing a pallet on the bonfire.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it all. Hey, Brooke Wells did a podcast recently, and she talks about this thing that I think all human beings go through, where you know you go to you know, you're born, kindergarten, elementary school, junior high, high school, college, job.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example. In my business, when you're young and you first get your camera, you go to a wedding and you film it for your friend and you do it for free, and it's great and it's the best time of your life. But the second Alexis Raptis calls you and says, hey, will you film my wedding? You're like, yeah. And she writes you a check for $5,000. A little bit of the fun goes away because this anxiety feels it's not, you have an obligation now.
Yeah.
And she kind of talks about that transition from doing CrossFit like for fun to, oh shit, I have to pay my electricity bill or my car payment, or like it changes the dynamic. It went from a just the world's greatest passion to a job. Do you feel, how did you, and you're 26 years old, so you're going through that too. You're like, hey, I'd like a house. I need a 401k. You start thinking about like your future. Has that affected your love for what you do? And how do you process all that? Or are you a trust fund kid and you have $3 million in the bank, you don't give a fuck?
No, definitely not.
That'd be fun too.
Mean, that would be fun. Yeah. I think, yeah, there comes a point where it is not just like, it's not just having fun. Like, I love it. I love what I do, but it's like you go into the gym and it's completely different. Like, your job there is completely different from the girl next to you or whoever's next to you there, because they just love to be there and they love to train. Like, I'm there for a job because this is what pays my bills. And these training sessions are what allow me to have all these opportunities and to make money. And, like, it actually makes it kind of like, yeah, it's stressful because you're like, oh, a lot is on the line. Like, if I don't perform and I don't show up and I don't do like what I know I can do, I like, it's not a normal job where you have just like a set like, oh, I'm getting paid this much this year. Like, you never, like, sponsors, your contracts could be 1 year, your contracts could be 2 or 3 or whatever, but like 1 year contracts, you want to make those people happy because you want to keep like renewing them. And so there comes there is stress with that because your performances do impact like your sponsors and how much money you make. And so it is like a lot of pressure, but I actually enjoy it because I know what I'm capable of. Like, I know how far I could go in this sport. And
you can win the games, Alexis.
Yeah, like, I mean, I believe that. And so it's like, for me,
it's obvious. You've shown us glimmers. Like, oh shit, here's some championship. This is a girl. This is one of the ones. Oh my God. When you came onto the game, as soon as you came to the games, it was like, oh shit, this is a real one.
Yeah, and so for me, like, yes, it's stressful and it's not all fun and games, but I actually really enjoy the challenge and I get excited thinking about like the opportunities that can come about of like working really, really hard. And like, yeah, money is involved now, and I'd be lying if like I wasn't doing it apart for the money. Like the money is another motivator. It's like, yeah, I could go and make this much money this weekend. Like, that's sweet. It's not just, oh, I'm gonna go and just see what I can do and have fun with my friends and yada yada yada. Like, having fun is doing well. Like, when you're doing well, oh, it's so fun. And then it results in like, a little bonus paycheck or whatever. So I can totally relate to how she feels because it is like, it's a very unique job, and like, it's not what it used to be where, oh, I didn't do very well. Like, it's okay. It doesn't matter because nothing's on the line. Like, yeah, it does matter. And
yeah, you had a bad day. You had a bad day at the office and you're going to be punished for it. Or you had a good day at the office and you're going to be rewarded for it. I mean, in the public eye, we're watching someone like Brooke Wells and you and all these young people go through that, right? So there's these things that, right, people go through who are your age. It's like, what's my purpose being here on life? Is there a fucking God? How am I going to make money to pay for my bills? Can I have a boyfriend or girlfriend? These are like 4 huge things that people do between the age of 17 and 30. And yet you're doing that in the public eye and getting paid for juggling all those things, those 4 huge things while, I mean, it's a trip. It's a trip.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. It's interesting. I guess I've never really thought about it all like that. But
as soon as you're famous, everyone as soon as you're famous, and I use famous in whatever the fuck famous means, but everyone, you have to accept the fact that everyone's going to have an opinion on your life. You just have to accept that. Everyone.
Yeah.
She shouldn't wear her hair down. She shouldn't be with that coach. That's dumb that she's doing those lifting days. Why is she with that guy?
Yeah. And you have to kind of take that with a grain of salt. And I think that's
Truckload.
like a
Truckload
part
of
of
salt.
why I don't love to like put everything out there, honestly, on social media. Because it's like, oh, the less, like, yeah, I want to share and be real. And like what you see on there is, I mean, what you see on here is like what you're going to get in real life. Like, I'm true to who I am, but there is a line that I don't like to cross too much with like social media and posting too much, because it's just like, I don't need your opinion. Like, I don't care about your opinion. I care about my circle of people's opinion, and that's about it.
Well, I do think it's a good sign when people have a lot of opinions about you. Would you consider yourself an entertainer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, outside of, you know, being a scumbag, it's pretty good that people have opinions about you,
Yeah.
whether they're good or bad. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's dumb the way she wears her hair. Or, I thought it was dumb she squeezed Lucy too tight. That's fucking great.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know
it's
what
also
I mean?
like, I mean,
Great. Have a go. I mean, I think that those are all metrics of success as an entertainer. and so.
yeah, I mean, anyone talking or posting or whatever, it's like, oh, it's just, they say like, whatever, publicity in any way, like
They
whether
don't
it's
want, yeah.
positive, what they're saying about me is positive or negative. Like, I know who I am and like what the truth is. And so, yeah, talks, like, say whatever you want. If you're gonna talk bad, it almost fires me up. Or like, if you're gonna doubt me, it fires me up. So it's like, yeah, say whatever.
Do you have a boyfriend?
No, I don't. I don't.
All right. When you were in the spa at the end of the show,
I want one.
when you were in the spa at the end of the show, I know we've talked about this before. You
Oh,
know
you're
the
talking about
show.
with Hitler.
Yeah, when you were, but I'll come back to that. You know the show Wonder Years, right?
No.
Oh, do you know who Winnie is?
Winnie?
Yeah, I know I've talked with you a couple years ago. I mentioned this. You don't know who Winnie is?
No.
Wonder Years is a show from like the 80s. You don't know that show?
Oh my gosh, wait. Do I look like someone? Because I just, on my, I had a
Dude,
photo
Winnie
shoot.
was the greatest one of the greatest characters on TV.
Wait, can we pull a picture up? I have my iPad here. I can look her up.
Yeah,
Because the girl that was doing my makeup yesterday said, I think Winnie. I think she said something about.
oh my God, Winnie was so I mean, I was a little boy when I watched it. All the little boys loved her. I mean, she was so fucking great.
What's it called?
And the guy had a crush on her, and I'm guessing that every 10-year-old boy in the world had a crush on her.
Is that what you think I look like?
Holy, I mean, you look like her and you act like her. Here, there she is. Oh wait, let me see. I'll pull up a bigger picture of her. I'd be curious to see your pictures when you were little. That's Winnie.
Oh.
You should watch that. You should watch an episode of that show. It's great.
Oh, I will. She's cute.
Yeah, she's like the girl who lives next door, and when she walks by, like the 10-year-old boy just like gets all flustered and shitty comes apart every time she enters the screen. And she's just sweet young neighbor girl.
Aw.
Look at
It's
Jodie
an old
Wynn.
show then?
Yeah, crazy old.
Hmm.
And every once in a while, you'll see the actors pop up as bit parts in movies. And like all us old people are like, oh shit, there's, you know, there they are.
That's cute. I think that's who she said. That's hilarious. Wow.
Tad James wants to know if you're okay with felons and his child support is up to date. Oh, so he pays child support. He's applying for the job, letting you know as your boyfriend that he's a felon, but he does pay his child support. That's solid. Solid, Tad. Great opening line.
Yeah, why is that the first thing you're saying, Ted?
He just wants to be transparent.
I respect it.
So you're in the spa with Hiller, and there's something going on with the dog.
Oh yeah. So there's like the neighbor dog. They don't let the neighbor dog out of this like cage. My dog just kind of I just let him do his thing. I don't put him on a leash. And
you don't have a fence between you and the neighbor?
No, there's no fence. And so he'll sit there and watch this dog, and like randomly, like he's gone and ran over to this dog a few times. And I don't know what it is. Like I think they just want to play with each other. But
They want to hump.
I don't know. I think they want to fight a little, to be honest.
A little fight,
But
hump. Same thing.
my dog's an alpha, so sometimes he likes to just
What kind of
pound.
dog?
He's a sheepadoodle. And
Oh,
it's
wow.
right here.
An aggressive sheepadoodle. I was thinking about getting a sheepadoodle. I need a new dog. Can I see its head? Really? Can you
He's
flip that
not-
around again? Can I see his head?
Yeah, let me try and I don't know how to do it, so I'm just gonna. Obi.
Let me see. I can't see his head. Oh my goodness. You take that dog back and forth to Georgia with you?
I take him everywhere with me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he goes everywhere. He's not aggressive. I would say he's just like he's not soft.
So when your dog's over there, you have Hiller call someone.
Oh
And
yeah.
I assume that was the boyfriend that we never see.
Oh no, that was my dad.
Oh damn! I'm like, oh shit! I'm gonna wait till the very end of the interview. I'm gonna get Alexis.
No.
There's the sign. I thought for sure that was. I had you in the corner. Checkmate. Damn.
No. Yeah. So
Damn it, Alexis.
he was just Obi. My dog was just sitting on the deck, just like sitting there staring at this dog, and I just knew like at any moment he was gonna run over there, and so I was like, oh, I don't want to get out of this hot tub. There's snow on the ground. I'm like, can I use your phone to call my dad? So that's what we did, and so my dad went and got him, brought him inside.
Boring.
I know. I'm sorry. Maybe next time you talk to me, maybe probably not though.
You don't have time for courtship. You have a dog, and
I just
you don't have time.
unless it's my husband, I don't have time for that.
Do you have a husband?
No, I wish.
Oh.
One day.
I bet you there's a lot of fucking really wealthy men who would court you.
I don't want that.
Oh, all right. Check with your dad on that. Wealthy guys are cool as shit. They work hard. They're busy. They won't bother you. And
I want to be bothered though. I don't.
Oh, good.
No, I mean, if
yeah,
they're wealthy, that's a bonus.
Listen, if you want to date Alexis, send me your applications. I'll curate them and send them over to her. Okay. Solid. thesevonpodcast@gmail.com. When you are at an event, do you ever punk the other athletes a little bit? Like, do you do any posturing? Like if someone, like, I'll give you an example, like someone talks to you and you hear them talking to you, but you purposely ignore them, like if you're in the corral, or do you do any like?
No.
No.
Mm-mm. No, I'm actually really nice to people. I think I am, at least.
Yeah, I perceived you were. I was hoping you had a good like punking story or something.
No, I don't have anything.
You don't ever go say something, whisper something to Tia just to get in her head a little bit. Is your ankle okay? Like walk up to her. Like, are you limping?
No, but that's kind of funny. I don't think the girls do a lot of that. I think the guys mostly do.
Yeah, the guys definitely do. They just ride each other.
Which I think is fun, and I kind of wish the girls would, but I don't think it'll ever happen.
Like walk up to Lucy Campbell and be like, "Do you have a speech impediment?"
Oh my gosh. No, because the girls just get too, like, they take things too literally, and they're too sensitive about everything.
And you have two brothers. They broke you. They broke you.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Which is also why I like to train with guys, because it's like, I don't know, you can just say whatever and no one gets mad.
Tad James, I'll be in your DMs.
No, maybe not.
What's the deal breaker? The kids or the felon?
I don't want to be with someone with kids, to be honest. Like,
yeah, I don't blame you. Fuck
yeah.
kids. Yeah, no kids. Yeah, the felon's cool. Martin Luther King was a felon.
Change. Who?
Gandhi was a felon. Martin Luther King was a felon.
Oh, really?
Gandhi was a felon. Malcolm
I wonder
X
what
was a
Tad
felon.
did.
Trump's a felon. There's all sorts of great felons.
Yeah. Not that I want that, but
you
know,
shit happens. Though things happen. Things happen.
Have you ever been?
With a felon? Twice.
Really?
Nothing. Yeah, just like over I was doing 65 and a 25 once.
Oh, wow.
And I jumped and when I went through this intersection and the car came off the ground and the
Oh
cop
my
just started
gosh.
get out and handcuffed me and took me to jail.
Were you by yourself?
No, it was my uncle.
Oh, like young?
I was 16. He was probably my uncle was young. He's probably not even 30.
Oh, was he so mad at you?
No, my uncle was mad. My uncle was freaking out because he was a foreigner, right? So he was freaking out. He was from Lebanon. And he's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Oh my
The cop
god.
walked up to my window and he's like, can I see your pilot's license? And then before I could even get my wallet,
That's clever.
he's like, get out of the car. He's like, you're doing 65 and a 25. He's like, the
did you have
car
to
came
stay
off the
overnight?
ground. Not overnight, probably just till late. And I had to call my dad. My dad came and got me.
Oh dang. Were you grounded?
I don't remember what happened. I fucked my dad's car up though.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
if you
didn't-
took flight, like, yeah, that thing's not gonna.
Yeah, I heard the cop be like, we saw the car when it lands, sparks come up from the bottom of the car. So you might want to have the bottom checked.
Oh wow. Dang.
And then
What
the
was
other
the
one
other
was
one?
the other one was something similar to that. I mean, I'm trying to think exactly what happened. This one's kind of crazy. I got a ticket. I got in a fight with a guy at a park.
Like a fist fight?
Yeah, physical altercation.
Okay.
And then he called the cops, and the cops came, and they're like, hey, your dog, we heard your dog was off the leash here. I'm like, my dog's right there. He's on a leash. And they're like, but we heard he was off a leash. So I got this ticket for a dog off leash.
Oh.
So I paid the ticket.
Mhm.
And then flash forward,
Why do you get a ticket for having your dog off the leash though? Also, that's kind of.
California.
Oh, you can't. Oh. Okay.
So then one day I was at like a couple months later I was at an outdoor sandwich shop, and I was sitting there eating a sandwich, and these cops go by on bikes, like these 6 cops, and I'm waiting for my sandwich to come out, and as they go by I just stare at them, just watch them ride their bikes by.
Yeah.
So they circle back, and this cop goes, what are you looking at? And I go, you guys. He goes, why? I'm like, that's what 20-year-old men do. When cops are around, we stare at you.
Yeah.
And he goes, let me see your driver's license. And I pull out my driver's license, and he goes, you have an unpaid ticket for a dog off a leash ticket. And I'm like, no, I paid it. And he's like, yeah, but you were supposed to go to court also.
Oh.
And then my
Dumb.
sandwich came out, and they handcuffed me and took me away to jail.
Oh my gosh. Did they let you eat your sandwich?
No,
least?
fuck no. But my friends were all there, and they were, as I was in the cop car, they were like eating my sandwich, like waving at me. Have you ever heard that story, Joseph? No, there you go. My son just heard a dad's story for the first time.
How old is your oldest son?
10.
Oh
It's
my
my 8-year-old. It's my 8-year-old Joseph, though, looking at me.
I didn't know that they were that old. I remember following your boys. You had like an exercise page or something.
Yeah.
To work out. Yeah. They're sweet.
Yeah,
Very
kids are
fun.
great. Are you gonna have kids?
Oh yeah.
3?
I want
You think you'll do
Yeah.
3?
Yeah, 3.
3's great.
Yeah. I mean, we had 3. I feel like it's a good, like 2, 1, definitely not 1. 2 is great, but then I feel like 3 is like a family.
Were you all planned? Have you ever asked your parents that?
I think, yeah. I know my dad only wanted 2, but my mom wanted 3. So my little brother came along.
Oh, and was he planned?
I think, yeah. I don't know, actually.
The man doesn't really have much say in it.
Yeah, I mean, my mom had 2 brothers, so I think she just wanted 3 kids. Like,
No shit. Your mom was the only girl with 2 brothers, and you're an only girl with 2 brothers?
yeah,
Oh, that's a trip.
yeah. And then my dad has a sister. Yeah, I mean, I would like at least 1 of each, and then whatever happens after that.
Yeah, 3's good. We had twins the last time, and I can't. 3 is. It's so good.
Is it better with twins? Because then you're like just doing it once,
Yes,
but then you get 2 out of the way. Yeah.
Seriously, it's like this. The twins and 1 kid, it's like this. Have you ever gotten like 2 cats, 2 kittens, or 2 puppies at the same time?
No, but I wish we did. I wish I
Yeah,
did.
the shit you see when you get 2 puppies at the same time as opposed to 1 is
Yeah.
like 1,000 times better. Or you get 2 cats, what you see,
Yeah.
I mean, you see the craziest shit, like wrestling and fighting and conversations and like it's
Because they just have each other, right?
dude, it's a non-stop comedy show. It is,
Ah,
yeah. And then so now they have the 10-year-old brother and then the 2 8-year-old twins, and it's just it's like having living with the Three Stooges.
that's so fun.
Yeah.
I feel like
Have
I would, as
fun.
a parent, I would just laugh all the time.
Yeah, you will. It's ridiculous.
That's so fun.
It's absurd.
Yeah, I definitely want to be a mom one day.
All right.
Have little babies.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm excited. I'm excited for you. Showed up to the games sick, showed up Wodapalooza sick, still kicked ass, and yet you're still the healthiest you've ever been.
Yeah, sweet. I'm excited. Are you gonna be at Mayhem?
No, but I'll be watching.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that your next competition?
Yeah. Well, after the Open. Yeah.
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 All right. Thank you. Say hi to your dad. Love your
I
dad.
will.
Love your mom. Say hi to both of them for me, please.
I will. All right. See ya. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Alexis Raptis. Hour and 40 minutes like that. Just like that. Easy peasy. I always have this low level stress of any guest that comes on, and 0 of that with her. Zero. I just sent a link to somebody and I said, come to me and make my dreams come true. Let's see. It's a great video. Hiller's pacing with that content is absolutely brilliant. It really shows you, for anyone who gets caught up in fancy graphics, and I'm not suggesting, I love what the Buttery Bros do. The last video I watched of theirs was with who's the guy who lives in California, the buff guy who does like CrossFit and a lot of isolated movements too. What's his name? Marcus Philly. I really liked that video. I loved that video. Beautifully shot and all that stuff. But Hiller's got this pacing of his videos and this engagement with the people that is and the audio is great. So great audio, great pacing, and great engagement with the athletes. And I mean, his numbers are just killing. Absolutely killing, with none of the fancy stuff, none of the, it's just smooth audio, great pacing, and great engagement with the athletes. It's cool. It's mad respect to him. Reminds me of a younger Sevon. My early days in Cookeville. Yeah, it's great. It's solid. And the fact that he's using these like 2 or 3 interviews just to kind of hold down the entire interview as a thread is fantastic. What is this email? Hi, Sevon, a succinct guide to anyone seeking an integrative approach to well-being. Praise for your body already knows that Deepak Chopra and Dr. Phoebe Marie Pruvat Manak and more. Dude, Deepak Chopra is a fucking COVID vaccine scumbag. Hunter!
What's up, dude?
God, I love you.
What are you doing, dude?
I'm just thinking about you.
I probably should log in with a computer because this sucks.
No, you're good. You look good. This is fun. I am. Can I read the text message? Our last exchange.
Yeah, go for it. What did it say?
I said you're headed to High Rocks this weekend, Vegas? ? And you said ready to fuck. That was the first thing I read this morning. I was so excited.
These are the facts. These are the
Yeah.
facts, baby. What's going on, dude? Look at this cat.
Yeah, I was noticing that thing looks huge on you. What is that? A quadruple X?
It's Trip XL. I make sure that Puma sends me only triple XL because in my off season, dude, I bulk up into it, dude. I bulk up into it and then I cut.
That's Puma gear.
Yeah, Puma got really cool.
I know. They've always been cool. Puma's always been cool. The shoes have always been too narrow, but I've always wanted to wear their shit. But like their sweatpants, like the cool sweat stuff outfits the black guys wearing shit, like the pants. And
Tracksuits.
I've always not had
jumpsuits
the
and
good enough
stuff.
body for it. Yeah.
But dude, I think like all these brands just recognize like you can't just keep on printing black shirts with a symbol on it, like, or like a white or a blue or whatever. It just like it got so boring. And then all of a sudden they made some collaborations with companies. Now they're making collaborations with my old sponsor 247, and they're just making epic stuff. So it's way more fun to rep.
I've always loved Puma. But here's the thing. I mean, like, how could you not like this shoe? Look at this shoe. This is nuts, but it's just too narrow.
Girls go crazy for that. Girls go crazy for that shit.
How gangster is that?
I wish I had that car. I would ditch the girl and I would take the car.
I'd take the shoes, the car, and the girl. Yeah, the shoes. Look at those things.
Don't be
those
greedy now, Saban. I'm gonna send this because I know there's people in the show notes, and I want to talk trash to all your fans because it doesn't let me. It doesn't let me do that through StreamYard. So, are you still seeing me?
No, but it's okay. Your voice is distinct.
It's crisp.
Yeah. When is the actual event and what is the location?
And let me log in now. Come on, baby.
Oh, the other thing is your documentary is going to come out on February 4th. Are you not going to be at the premiere?
Oh yeah, of course I am.
Okay.
We go down in San Diego, have a good time. We're at 6587.
Oh, so you're busy. You're on the road. You're kicking ass.
I go from here. Listen to this travel schedule, dude.
Okay.
I go from here to Los Angeles, straight to San Diego. On San Diego, I am then going to be back in LA for 10 days. I then go to Michigan for my grandfather's 95th birthday. I go from Michigan to Michigan to LA, LA to Australia, all over Australia, from Australia to Glasgow for the next championship. I race in Australia, I race in Glasgow. I go from Glasgow to New York City. I go from New York City. My dad doesn't watch the show. I'm surprising him for his 70th birthday. If anybody rats on me, I'll punch you in the teeth.
Wait, you're going from Glasgow to where for your dad's birthday?
My dad's 70th birthday in New York City.
So I have a real concern. If you have an event in Vegas and you're going to be on the road the entire time till Glasgow, how are you going to train?
So this is where I think I went wrong last year. Like, usually, because High Rock's season is just like expanded. It went from a race where there was like 10 events a year. And let's just see. Let me get this. I'm going to switch screens.
Yeah, do what you want to do.
Okay, enter studio. I'm going to leave this one. How do I escape?
I'll kick you out of that other one. Don't worry. There you go.
All right, we're good?
Yeah.
Okay, so what ended up happening last time was I was just training so intensely. I just kept on going up. And you know the story.
He froze. He froze for me. Did he freeze for you guys? He did this. He did the Heil Hitler and then froze.
Okay.
You're
So
frozen. You're frozen.
Too close to the sun. You just keep on training. And I didn't take a break. And, normally I would just go into a competition phase in my old sports where we wouldn't train as much and we were just kind of traveling and competing all the time. And we weren't like going balls to the wall. You just focused on the weekends. So that's kind of what this next 5 weeks is going to be like. And then I'll come back, I'll land March 20th, and then I have almost 3 months to really get into peak shape.
So, and what's that event? What's after the Glasgow event?
After Glasgow, we'll go to World Championships. I'll go to Miami April 19th for doubles, Elite 15, and then that will qualify me for the doubles event, and then we just go straight to World Championships in Chicago.
And that's what's in March?
No, March is the doubles, and then June 12th is the World Championships in Chicago.
Are you not doing singles in Chicago?
I am for sure, but now they've set up what I call the Triple Crown. You can race singles. The next day you can race doubles, and then you can race team relay, and hopefully you try to win all three.
You're gonna try that?
I'm going to, yeah, for sure. If I show up in the shape that I normally do, I should be able to pull it off. I got fucking railed last season though, so whatever, dude. I can take a loss for sure, but I can't take back-to-back losses. That's not my gig.
I love getting railed.
Yeah. Don't we all?
I don't like getting derailed, but just railed.
I'm kind of jealous, dude. Good for you.
Okay. So tell me exactly, you're in Vegas, and what time and when do you compete? Where and what time?
So the major is Friday. Friday, the Elite 15 go off. I believe the women go off at 5:30 and the guys go off at 6:30, 7
At night?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if I were you, just go to like High Rocks YouTube, and then it'll all be live there.
Is today Thursday?
It is. It's tomorrow.
So it's tomorrow.
Yes.
Holy shit. Okay, so Friday, show up 5:30 would be a good time to show up. And where is it? It's in the Vegas Convention Center?
Yeah, south of here.
Do you even worry about that stuff, or do you have a handler? Does someone just come by and pick you up, or do you got to like Uber there? How does that work?
No, like, I mean, I'll have like a driver take care of me. I'm lucky though. Like, at this level, it used to be where I basically would like ride up on a scooter, and now things have gotten a lot better as far as like kind of the organization and support that we get for these things. So I'll roll down there with my team probably like Friday at 4.
And then, so you'll have that event, and then are you just doing individual this at this Vegas event?
Yeah. I might do doubles on Sunday, but it's highly unlikely. Did you remember a couple years ago at the CrossFit Games, 2019, the year that I went, Porsche gave all of like the top level CrossFitters Porsches?
Something like that, yeah.
That was sick. And I wasn't giving a shit. And I think, yeah, I wasn't giving anything. But that's definitely like, I don't get why I don't have a car sponsor. I'm in the car all the time. I'm driving around LA, guzzling gas. Dude, I don't think I even talked to you. Are you still down in the South?
I'm in Newport. I'm in Newport Beach right now.
Dude, that whole fire thing was so crazy. Not in the way that like, obviously it's terrible. Like everything burnt down, but PCH is still closed. We didn't have power for 23 out of 60 days.
Wait, PCH is still closed? Like I can't go to Marmalade like on PCH if I wanted to?
Months, dude, for months. It will be closed for months.
Why? Is the road damaged?
They say the road's damaged, but in reality, like I've done some research into it. It seems like the government hired this company called Anvil, which does most of the government cleanup after disasters. And they're just like the worst company in the world. And it's just one of these kind of things where it's like when it could be done in one day, it could they take 5 and they get paid per the amount of like dump that they like shit that they take out of there. They get paid per pound. So it's just one of these kind of systems where it's just built to be slow and be lazy. So
I can't imagine. So you're telling me you can't drive from LA to Santa Barbara up the PCH right now?
No, you can't drive from Malibu to LA. That strip's gone.
Shit, dude.
Yeah.
For people who don't understand, this is basically 2 lanes in each direction that are always jam-packed with the ocean on one side and these really steep hills on the other side that are packed full of really hardworking, filthy rich people.
No.
What are those people doing? There must be an uproar there.
Oh, for sure. You got to understand these people also, most of them, I would say above 70% of them have multiple homes.
Right.
Yeah. It's really interesting. Like the fires are interesting in the way that it's tragic, but it's also like very like community based, where at nighttime when all the power's off, we go down to the restaurants because you can't have dinner or you can't like keep food at your place. So almost every night when we were going out to dinner, you'd be having dinner with all these people in Malibu that you hadn't seen in a while. And we're all kind of talking and everything's kind of going around and we're figuring out what's happening next, checking in on people. And it just feels like this massive family. And everybody's got each other's backs. Like, many people would let me into their homes and like charge my stuff and drive around. They're like, take my car, stay at my place, whatever. It was weird.
What about the college? What's going on with Pepperdine? Is it closed?
No, it didn't get up that far, but I mean, because Malibu Canyon's closed, like I'm sure they're probably still shut down in classes.
What a trip. I can't
Crazy.
believe it's gonna take that long.
Yeah. It's weird, man. It's so weird to the point where, so last time this happened in 2018, the fires burnt down. I left. As soon as that happened, it was so bad because it burnt all around my house, like literally to our doorstep. I decided to get out of there because you couldn't breathe. Like it was just bad. I moved to Boulder. I came back months later and it still was just a mess. And it's one of these kind of things where 6 years later, 7 years later, there's still homes that haven't been finished being built.
From the first fire, from the other fire.
Yeah. So everything like, man, it's just one of these kind of things where you're just so amazed by when you have like a normal lifestyle and then like a real tragedy like this happens, how fragile the infrastructure of it all really is.
What about your mountain home? Is that fine? That's fine, right?
Dude, that's amazing. It's perfect. But that's probably going to burn down soon. Like, I mean, so like my place, the mountains like this, all these mountains burnt down and my house is over here. So that's the next patch to burn down. And my cabin's just like perfectly situated to get crushed.
And the road network there is just Mickey Mouse. Hey,
When I
what
get
about?
back, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No,
when
I get back from Europe, I'm probably not going to stay in Malibu. I'm probably going to go like Colorado for a couple months just because wait for this all to settle.
What are you doing in LA for 10 days? You said you're going to go to LA.
Well, that's where I live. So I'm just going to try to like settle down, get my training groove back in. And then because you taper, like I tapered significantly for this championship to pick it up and really get going again. So I haven't worked out in like weeks, not like the way I work out. Like I work out the way that you work out, where you like take like a 75-pound barbell and do like 5 reps every minute.
Yeah. Have you been watching me?
No, it's every time I call you, you're like, I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, I got 75 pounds in the bar. I'm gonna do 30 reps at a time. And I'm like, savage.
Oh, quiet. Don't tell anyone my secrets. Who's the guy to beat at this? Are you the guy to beat or is there someone else?
I mean, technically points wise, I'm no longer the guy to beat because I lost world championships. And then there's people who have accrued more points since then. So on the scoreboard, I'm not the guy to beat. But as far as like high performances and consistency, I'm always the guy to beat. Like I've only in my whole career of racing for 5 years have lost 3 times.
Is this guy James Kelly going to be there?
Yeah. So I think he has the highest amount of points right now at this race.
And you'll put it to him?
I'm gonna stuff him in the dirt.
Oh, that's awesome.
Listen, dude, like I think everybody is training so hard and doing so well. And like, that's awesome that the sport's progressing, but I still look at the numbers. Like I'm always the person who just looks at the numbers. I'm not getting beat right now.
We have a lover for you. Yes. You would like to date Hunter?
Hello?
Hi. Are you calling to date Hunter?
Yes. Your guests just keep getting cuter and cuter.
You're outside the room?
What's up, dude? How are you?
Dude, I think it's so cool that you can just text Hunter and get him on the show. Like, look at what your show is. That's pretty awesome.
Well, listen,
Holy
I've texted
cow.
him 100 times to come on the show. This is the only one that landed. This isn't the first time I've asked him to come on. I just knew he was stuck in a hotel room, but I appreciate it. Yeah, it's pretty cool to have Hunter.
I'm just finishing a call, and then
but he disrespects the show so much that he's willing to have a phone call on it while I talk to you. That's kind of where I'm at with my guess.
Yeah, I'll come down. If you can get up here, come on.
I was wondering if I could get him to answer a couple natty or knocks.
Oh, yeah.
Who's this?
This guy wants to do natty or not with you with a couple people.
Okay.
This is going to be gnarly.
What do you do?
Nick Bear.
Wow.
No comment.
The beautiful body of Nick Bear. Yes. Okay. No comment. Next.
No comment, man. All right. Tia Toomey.
Probably clean.
Clean for Tia.
Clean.
I mean, dude, she doesn't have a single vein on her forehead. What do you want?
I don't know. I think Hiller's gotten to me. Okay.
Hiller's gotten to me too.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, put him on the spot. That's why he's on the show.
Dude, I trained with her, and like you can just tell certain kind of builds that are just a little bit enhanced, and she's like actually a particularly small person, not in like
She
a bad
is.
way. She's just
Yeah.
a small person. I think she just has like great capacity. She's great amount of strength. There's just like people that have that kind of body.
Crazy mover.
Yeah, she just has she's an athlete. She's a real athlete. She doesn't need all this other stuff. So that would be my real opinion. Like I've been around enough people to say like she seems pretty, middle of the road. It's natural.
She had a kid.
I can appreciate that.
Hey, I will tell you this though. The other day, Hiller was telling me some theories he had that women after that they have a baby, they have about a year of some really good hormones that launch.
That's not a theory. That's proven science.
Oh, okay. Well, Hiller has some proven science, but then they come down off of that shit. And if you look around, you can see it happening to the athletes.
So, Hunter, would you know what reps ahead is? Are you familiar with that? Reps ahead?
No.
Well, it's like this competition where you have to you do like a WOD or whatever. And when you get to, I think it's like 12 reps ahead of the other person, you win, you knock them out. And it could be like round after 3 rounds, and whoever's the most reps ahead up to 3 rounds wins. Something you and Hiller should consider doing something like that.
Oh, against each other.
Yeah.
Hunter would actually obliterate poor Hiller.
I mean, like if you put something on the bar like 225 pounds for any movement, he'll beat me. But like anything below that and like machines and stuff like that, I would get him. But
fucking moms, banging moms, Hunter would crush.
Night out in Malibu.
All right, thank you. Don't ever promote that shit on my
Thank
channel again. Love you, bye.
Did you just try to promote a game show?
Yeah, fucking
dude.
Man.
I gotta bounce in like 30 seconds. I literally just done because I miss you.
Okay, love you too. Thanks for doing this. Good luck this weekend. Anyone who wants to go, we didn't give you a location, but it's tomorrow in Vegas. You should show up at least by 5:30. That's when the women's elite heat goes, and then Hunter will go around 6 or 6:30. Big coming out party for Hunter. He's going to win the race, and then show you he's going to blow up an inflatomate and have sex with it on the stage.
All right, boys. Love you, long time. Gotta go.
Thanks for coming on. Good luck, dude.
Thanks, brother.
Ciao. Hunter McIntyre. All right. That was cool. Matt Burns, you're a good dude, Hunter. Good luck, Sheriff. I'm digging his fro. I wonder if he has some sort of ritual, like he'll cut that tonight before he goes. What is this? Important you have. Oh shit. Jesus Christ. Oops. My wife just sent me she got a text saying I didn't pay the Xfinity bill this month. You got to do that really quick. Sorry. I got to pee too. Oh yeah. Why would you promote no reps? Why wouldn't you tell him to call Kill Taylor? Son of a. What is it? Did you ask Hunter if he saw Rich's invite to Mayhem competition? No, I did not ask him. I thought about asking him that, but I don't know. Let's see. It's like sometimes Rich is stuck in 2014 and shit. Like that we already did that. Invite Hunter. Hunter's doing his own thing. He's a superstar in his own right. Okay, where do I go? Xfinity. What should I do? I should send them $400. This amount is significantly more than your typical payment. I don't give a shit. Sent. Oh shit. I don't know which account I sent that from. Fuck, I maybe shit. God damn it. I'm multitasking. And I have to pee.
Hello, you've reached Haley. Leave a message. Thanks.
All right. I don't know if I'm done with you guys. You guys want to hang out a little more? Let me do this, and then I have to go pee, and then what is this one? Let me see. Does that one look good? That one looks good. All right. I'll see you guys in just a second.
I'm Christy Minato. I am a just recently coined 45-year-old. For over the past 8 years, I've kind of been struggling to find myself again. I was just kind of hitting that low of like not finding that happiness within myself that I've been looking for a long time. I just broke and I was just like, you know what? It's time to focus on me. I've been coming here now very consistently, watching my diet finally, and really starting to find myself again, find my groove again. And honestly, this gym has provided me such an outlet of positivity. It's provided me an outlet of finding myself laughing again and just like having fun with athletics. It's been such a long time. I really feel that has helped me progress within this CrossFit gym. I have found friends for life. I've never felt so good about myself, my body image. So a lot more than just strength has come out of this. It's, you know, the growth of my mind and understanding that this is my body. God gave me a strong body. It's about damn time I tap into that and let the world see that I'm proud of it. I'm not going to hide behind big baggy clothes because my shoulders might be bigger than yours. It's just part of the game.
Chris Cooper, Two Brain Business, Mike Warkington over there. Great guys. Put up $5,000 for first place, $3,000 for second, $1,000 for third, I think. Something like that. Something cool like that. And then we did a video contest and we got 200 submissions. That's one of them. Crazy, right? All about what's going on at the affiliate. You know, so let me do some house cleaning. First of all, everyone head on over to Doc Spartan and make sure you buy some Matuthium. The QR code is in the left-hand corner. You will not be disappointed. If you have not tried tooth powder, you need to do that right now. I need so many of you guys to buy Matuthium that Dale's like, holy shit. And so he calls me and is like, man, so please purchase Matuthium. It's what supports the show. It's a good product. This is all my grifting shit. I never let you guys know this. I don't know why I never talk about it on the show, but I don't know if it's Wodify or SugarWatt or Spotify or what, but somewhere I have kids programming for sale, and every like once a week someone buys it, and I always forget that it's out there. But I made 50 videos. If you have young kids, and I made it so you don't need equipment, you should find that. And if you need ideas, my kids are absolute savages. So if you want to see that, I think I make $34 every time I sell the program, but it's got 50 videos with the instructions on it. It's pretty cool. Probably not Spotify. They don't do that. So it's on one of those. But more importantly, there was something I really need. Oh, this is my this is the big pitch. I want to have a live show in Europe. And I keep thinking that I was going to do it, that I was going to do a show at midnight, a live call-in show that starts at midnight Pacific Standard Time, which would be 8 a.m. in London. And that I would do that 5 days a week. So that I would have to be crazy disciplined. I'd have to stop fucking around with all the middle of the day shows and not be able to do the stuff with Hiller or John Young or, you know what I mean? Those middle day other shows I do sometimes throughout the day, the CrossFit Games Update show, the Dave Castro Week in Review. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do the European show. So I need a couple cool people or someone who's willing to host a podcast in Europe on this channel. And you got to be so fucking cool. I'd prefer it be a European or someone who's just obsessed with European CrossFit, like everything from the affiliates to just all that shit, the games, the ecosystem, just everything. I guess it wouldn't have to be someone who's European or Australian, but I'd prefer you have a kind of a fucked up accent. You talk funny. So Jake Chapman would be nuts. Yeah, Jake would be nuts. It's got to be someone who doesn't get my channel shut down, though. Jake would be amazing. Jake and David Weed. Oh my God. I was, you know, what's funny is I was actually thinking it would be easy to, I was hoping to be someone who's like significantly more classy than I am. But that wouldn't, that probably wouldn't be it. So Jake, Jan, Weed, and Sporty Beth. Oh, that would be, God, if I could have just built a relationship with Sporty Beth, that would have been awesome. She's crazy though. She got trust issues and shit. It needs to be someone who doesn't have trust issues. You have to have a lot of trust with me. Now that I look back at it, that's probably why it didn't work out with Brian Friend. He's got, I think, all sorts of trust issues. David trusts me. Yeah, I don't think I would have trust issues with David. Adrian. Adrian Vunweiler. Yeah, he might be good. So there's that. I really want to do that. It's time. I've made the suggestion to HQ. I think HQ should do it. I've passed that suggestion to them in as many avenues as I can. They need a live show. What you'll get if you do it at midnight Pacific Standard Time is you get people who are driving at night, night drivers who just want to listen to the show. It should have a call-in number. It should basically just be a live call-in show just talking about all the shit in the ecosystem. I do not think Craig Ritchie would be good at it. I think that would be boring as fuck. But Laura Horvat would be great at it. She'd be great at it. I don't even understand this. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? I don't get it. I want to get it. Another piece of business, lots of business remaining. The contest, the application is not to host an open at your affiliate. It is not, Dave is not saying to apply to host an open comp. I assume they have all the locations chosen already. What they're looking for is someone to do the Dave Castro role. Oh, Luca and Lazar would have been great. Like the Click and Clack brothers. They would have been great. Hey. How's this?
Are you still
live?
going?
Yeah. How's this foot?
Well, the doctor was very encouraging. He said he just needs to wear the boot for 4 weeks. Thinks he should heal, and he said there was healing. There's like a bridge that is formed, so there has healing, which is what I thought, and I was concerned that I was like looking at it wrong. And he also said, shoot, what was I just thinking?
Did you give him the CD with the photos?
Yeah, and I took pictures.
Oh, okay, cool. Will you send those to me and I'll send those over? Okay.
Yeah, he said he thinks he's going to be fine. He just really needs to wear this boot. And this is what I was going to say, that it was totally wrong that the doctors didn't give him a boot right away. Like,
God damn it.
Yeah.
Fucking pisses me off.
He said that's wrong. Me too.
I knew better. They should have fucking cast it.
I know.
Why not cast that fucking thing? Can you ask him to fucking cast it?
Right. He didn't seem to think that was necessary. He said the boot will keep it.
I just wanted to immobilize him. Okay, I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna kick the shit out of him if he fucking I see him with that boot off. He's gonna bathe with that boot.
He's not gonna bathe with the boot.
Avi, you're gonna bathe with that boot.
He wants to trick his. You're not on speaker.
Oh, go ahead.
He wants to trick his brothers and tell them he needs surgery tomorrow. So don't say anything.
Where does he get this vile sense of humor? That's not even funny.
I wonder.
God damn
Not
it.
from my side of the family. Although I do like an April Fool's joke. Good April Fool's joke.
All right.
All right, we'll be home soon.
Have you ever noticed how big my lats are?
Yeah, I tell you that once every few years.
All right.
Nice.
All right. Cool.
All right, love you.
Love you too. Bye.
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 They're huge.
Oh, they're huge. I heard it. Oh, yeah. It's the toe thing. It's the fucking left toe. Greatest athlete who ever lived, and he hasn't been able to do anything except fucking bodybuilding workouts for fucking 6 months. It's crazy. Absolutely nuts. Oh, shit. I forgot to tell her why I called her. Oh.
Hey.
I called you because I sent $400 to the cable bill, but I don't know what account I sent it from. So I probably spent your money again.
Giggity, giggity. Probably.
Giggity. All right. I love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
I'm starting to sense Alexis's entire career. I think it's Alexis like ALEXIS, I think. Entire career will, who am I to say how to spell something? I'm starting to get the sense Alexis's entire career will be defined by what could have been, if she's not always sick, better than when athletes keep this shit to themselves. Hey, listen, if you watch the Hiller interview, you'll see that she is keeping it to herself. It's just that she's really struggling. It's a great video, man. She's there's an interview on her Instagram that Lauren Khalil did with her that's really, really good. You can tell that Alexis has been through a lot. Graciano Rubio, what's up, dude? Been a minute. I saw your I'll pull it up. It was crazy. I saw your video of where's Graciano? Graciano. What a great video you put up with your daughter. This was really cool. I really enjoyed seeing this. I like what you wrote too. 455 overhead. Absolutely insane, dude. My daughter came out to the barn tonight during my workout to avoid going to bed. Yeah, my kids do that too. I love that shit. I failed this lift twice, but I stuck to my golden rule of lifting. If you load it, you lift it. No chance of walking out of there on a failed lift with her watching. That's so great, dude. That's so awesome. By the way, on a side note, I see Jace commented on this. This dude's Instagram is really good. I highly recommend following this dude. This is a good dude. And he has cool, quirky stuff on there. Not only he's got a great body, he's got great lifts. But there's also like he built this he soldered his own rack, his own plate rack. I thought that was a really cool video. The Instagram account is Jasebit, JASEBFIT. It's a cool account. He's doing cool shit on there. I get a little I can't stand it when I go to an athlete's account and it's just all working out. It's like Jesus. It's like a cake and all it is frosting. It's like, dude. It's like just too much frosting. Is he single? What's his name? He might be single. He's cool as shit. He's a quarter black too, so he checks the DEI card. Gets some like social justice warrior points. All right. Is Kash Patel going yet? I really want to watch that. Kash Patel videos. Associated Press. Oh, it's in short recess. Has anyone been watching it? How was it? Let's watch a little bit of this really quick. This is Senator Hawley. Wow, Hawley got at him. That should be good.
In my office a while back. Let me ask you this. Is it appropriate for the Federal Bureau of Investigation to attempt to recruit spies or informants into religious institutions in this country, particularly Catholic parishes? Is that appropriate?
I don't believe so, Senator.
Mr. Patel, are you familiar with the recent actions of the FBI in this regard, including this memo that I...
Wait a second. Why wouldn't that be cool? Why can't the FBI have spies inside the Catholic Church? I don't know. I need someone to explain to me why that's not cool, but okay, go on.
Have right here, making a list of Catholic churches and parishes that they regard as potentially suspect and directing the potential recruitment of informants and other spies, let's be honest, into those parishes.
I'm familiar with that memo, Senator.
Mr. Patel, would you commit to me that you will, if you are confirmed, that you will finally and officially withdraw this memo and make it clear that this is not only unacceptable, but that it is an absolute violation of the First Amendment that every American enjoys under the Constitution of the United States?
Wait, but what if it's a front? What if it's a front? They think it's a front for a cartel or a terrorist organization. They're not allowed to go look?
United States.
If I'm confirmed, Senator, yes.
Will you also commit to me that you will conduct an investigation and find out who wrote this memo, who spread this memo, the field offices involved in this memo? Because I can tell you, we've had your predecessor sit right where you're sitting, and he has repeatedly lied to, there's no other word for it, lied to this committee. He told us initially that it didn't happen, that the FBI didn't make any lists of churches. That's not true. We have it. A whistleblower brought forward the list for us. He said then that only one field office had worked on it. Turns out we know from another whistleblower, multiple field office worked on it. He said that it was never posted on the internal system.
Wait, what are you guys saying? They were targeting Christians. Okay, well, leave the church. Wait, no, that's sarcastic. Good churches aren't Catholics. Sevan, do you think the FBI has been working in noble fashion? No, but I can't just say, hey, you can't investigate something because it's a church. That seems absolutely batshit crazy to me. Now, if they're investigating it because it was a church, I need to know what the premise is. Like, our church is like bad or something. Like, why? Like I understand. Like, I guess what I'm doing is I'm making the assumption that they had some probable cause for something.
Turns out it was. We believe it's still in effect. Will you find out who was involved in this gross abuse of Americans' First Amendment rights? And will you discipline them? And if you possibly can, will you fire them, Mr. Patel, consistent with department policy and law?
Senator, you have my commitment to investigate any matters such as this one that are important to Congress. I will fully utilize, if confirmed, the investigative powers of the FBI to give you the information you require and also to hold those accountable who violated the sacred trust placed in them at the FBI.
I'm glad to hear you say that, and I'm glad you use the word sacred trust, because that's exactly what it is. The FBI is the most powerful law enforcement body in this nation, arguably the most powerful law enforcement body, at least in a free nation in the world. And to have this body corrupted politically such that it is targeting people of faith in this country and then lying about it to this committee and the American people is unimaginable. I'll be honest with you. I never thought this would happen in the United States of America. I just didn't. If you had told me 5 years ago we'd be reading memos like this, I would have said, no way, that's bad fiction. In fact, it's a horrible reality. The department needs to be.
I think I agree with Pat on this too, but I also agree with Matt Burns. If there's no evidence, then no warrant. Yeah, I guess I'm making the assumption that they had some sort of evidence, like just making this up, but like these Catholic churches were organizing bombings, abortion center bombings, or some shit.
Cleaned up, the agency does, and rights restored and protected. I'm glad to hear you say that. Let me ask you this. Do you think it is appropriate for the FBI to be sending agents, including counterterrorism agents, to the parents of children who went to school board meetings and asked about critical race theory in their schools, asked about the school's masking policy during COVID? Should those parents be treated as domestic terrorists?
Parents who have the courage to ensure their children are taught what they feel is right, and those who have the courage of their convictions to go houses of worship, in my book, will never be domestic terrorists.
I'm delighted to hear you say that. You're familiar, I am sure, with this memorandum issued by
the FBI should be protecting those parents. They should completely be protecting those parents, not investigating them.
The Attorney General, the last Attorney General, Merrick Garland, directing the FBI and other law enforcement agencies to look into parents who went to these school board meetings. And we know from whistleblowers who've come forward to this committee and given us the evidence that, in fact, the FBI opened multiple cases against multiple parents across the nation, I believe, including in my home state of Missouri. Another gross abuse, incredible political power brought to bear against everyday citizens. Why? Because they went to a school board meeting that they're paying for and asked about what their kids were being taught. Once again, I can't imagine, I couldn't have ever thought this would happen in the United States of America. Will you find out who was involved in this policy within the FBI, who agreed with it, who implemented it, who encouraged it? Will you find out that, Mr. Patel? Will you do an internal investigation? And will you make clear that those who supported this policy
I hope they butt fuck those guys who did that. I hope they ruin them.
Are appropriately disciplined? And will you make clear that the FBI will never do something like this again?
If confirmed and pursuant to your congressional request, absolutely, Senator.
Thank you. Let me ask you this. Do you think it's appropriate for the FBI to target people of faith, particularly those who hold pro-life convictions? Do you think it's appropriate for the FBI to single out and target people of faith in order to discourage the exercise of their First Amendment rights?
There can never be a targeting by law enforcement just based on their people's faiths.
And yet, under this last administration, the FBI and DOJ together brought numerous prosecutions under the FACE Act for nonviolent protests. President Trump has recently pardoned some of these folks, but it also includes individuals like Mark Houck from Philadelphia region, from Pennsylvania, who had an FBI SWAT team arrive at his door in the early hours of the morning, armed, of course, terrorizing him and his children, took him into custody. They charged him with a FACE Act violation. Why? Because he took his young son to a peaceful demonstration outside an abortion clinic. When his young son was shoved to the ground, he defended him. Mark Houck was acquitted by a jury, acquitted. Nevertheless, the FBI used their full resources, including a SWAT team, to try and terrorize him. Meanwhile, how many churches that were firebombed or pregnancy care centers that were firebombed, how many of them were protected by the last administration? Just about zero. It is an unbelievable instance of targeting. Mr. Patel, will you end this targeting? If you get to the FBI, if you are confirmed, will you end it? And will you make clear to all agency personnel that there can be no targeting on the basis of religious belief, and this will never happen again in the United States of America, at least not under your watch?
Senator, if confirmed, and it speaks to an issue we were talking about earlier, there will be no such targeting if I'm confirmed as FBI director. And the resources of the FBI, which are funded by the American taxpayer dollars, in the 7 minutes that you and I have been talking about, 2 people have died from fentanyl overdoses. 1 person has been shot to death in this country, and 3 people have been raped. The resources of the FBI will go to that mission set and that mission set alone, because America deserves a better brand of justice, and I'm going to give it to them.
Fantastic. Here's my last question for you. Do you think it's appropriate for the FBI to try and pressure the largest technology corporations in the world, the most powerful corporations in the world, the social media companies? Do you think it's appropriate for the FBI to pressure them to censor the political speech of everyday American citizens to try and violate the First Amendment? Is that appropriate, do you think, Mr. Patel?
No, Senator.
Will you put an end to this, Mr. Patel, if you are confirmed at the FBI?
Senator, if confirmed, I will work with Congress to expose any corrupt activities the FBI has participated in, especially involved in the censorship of free speech.
Because we know from the court cases that have been brought across this country, and we know from the voluminous factual finding that was done, and it's in the record, that the FBI and other agencies of this government under the last administration pressured, coerced these social media companies to censor speech of everyday Americans on a range of issues, from the Hunter Biden laptop to COVID to the Dobbs decision, you name it, they tried to censor them. The Constitution doesn't permit the government to do it. The FBI tried to get the social media companies to do it. Will you end this practice, Mr. Patel, once and for all?
Senator, I will always follow the law. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'm Senator Blumenthal's next. I want to say when he's done, so let's see, the 30-minute break with Burley.
Mr. Patel, thank you for being here. And thank you for visiting with me in my office at almost exactly the moment that you were talking to me. The Department of Justice was firing more than a dozen lawyers who worked with the special counsel, Jack Smith, simply because they were involved in that case. You've committed that the FBI will not be politicized. So here's your first test. Will you commit that you will not tolerate the firing of the FBI agents who worked with the special counsel's office on these investigations?
Senator, I appreciate the time to visit with you.
It is a yes or no answer, and it is your first test.
Kick his
Senator,
ass.
every FBI employee will be held to the absolute same standard, and no one will be terminated for case assignments.
And I'm not going to accept that answer, because if you can't commit that those FBI agents will be protected from political retribution, we can't accept you as FBI director.
All FBI employees will be protected against political retribution.
Those individuals deserve to be protected from Trump retribution. That was your first test. You failed it.
By saying all FBI employees should be protected?
That is a test of professional diligence, because it is the measure of whether you will stand up and say no to the president if he gives you an unlawful or illegal order. Let me turn to the J6 choir. You know who the J6 prison choir is, don't you?
It's been referenced earlier, yes.
And you know about the song that, in fact, you produced, you promoted, and you used
He's a musician.
to, as you put it, support,
this guy has Parkinson's or something.
raise awareness and support for the political prisoners
Look at this guy's
still
hand.
locked in jail. Those J6 choir, were they political prisoners?
I don't know everyone in the J6 choir.
That's what you said.
That's
correct?
not how I read it, Senator.
This is your tweet. That's your whole statement.
Well, I'm
You
reading
won't
it
stand
now.
behind your own statements made in tweets, countless of them. As a matter of fact, as you put it to Steve Bannon on his show, then we went into a studio and recorded it, mastered it, digitized it, and put it as a song, now releasing it exclusively in the War Room. That was the J6 prison choir song.
And all proceeds were given away to charity to help families
And you
in
called
need.
them political prisoners. Julian Cater, do you know what he did?
I don't know who that is, Senator.
Well, he's one of the J6 prison choir.
You seem to know more about it than I
Identified
do.
in a court filing. And you're saying now you don't know who he is? You glorified him and the rest of that choir? He's the one who sprayed U.S. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick with pepper spray. Officer Sicknick died the next day. Cater admitted his violence. He pleaded guilty to assaulting assaulting a political officer, a police officer. Do you believe that Julian Cater was a political prisoner?
Yeah.
Senator, I'm not familiar with his case. You seem to know a lot more about it than I do. And as I've said repeatedly, I will always utilize my resources to help Americans in need, which is what I was trying to do here. And I've never once advocated for political violence or violence against law enforcement.
Ryan Nichols. Ryan Nichols also pleaded guilty to assaulting a police officer. He was one of the J6 choir. He pushed the crowd against officers defending a door to the Capitol and sprayed officers with pepper spray. Was Ryan Nichols a political prisoner?
Same answer, Senator.
Yes.
How about Jordan Mink? another member of the J6 choir.
I don't know who he is.
Listen. We've already established that you can stomp police officers in Times Square and get out same day. Holding someone for 3 or 4 years in solitary confinement, fucking with them, not giving them access to legal resources, treating them like shit. That's what made them political prisoners. That's what made them political prisoners.
James McGrew, a political prisoner?
I don't know who that is.
James McGrew pushed and struck officers and launched a handrail toward them. And
Ooh.
you glorified
Ooh.
him. You promoted and produced a song to raise money for them. And you now want us to believe you don't know who they are?
No part of that song or anything I've done in my 16 years of government service glorifies or advocates for violence against law enforcement. And the fact that you would be willing to say that in front of these people in the American audience shows how much of a divide we actually have to restore a law enforcement that is constitutionally based, de-weaponized, and depoliticized. You have my commitment to do that. In your office, we had a lot of common ground. I'm committed to working with you on things like Section 230 and making sure the citizens of Connecticut aren't pillaged by Chinese fentanyl.
I welcome your statement, Mr. Patel, but it doesn't answer my question. And it doesn't go to your credibility in denying you know who these people are after. And I have to say, in this tweet and in others, I have a raft of them. I'm going to ask the chairman that they be made a part of the record. If there's no objection.
Without objection.
You glorified, you promoted, you supported these individuals. Ronald Sadlin, he struck an officer in the head, hand, and shoulders and grabbed another officer. Was he a political prisoner?
Yes.
Don't know who that is, Senator.
Well, the simple fact is that you knew about the J6 choir. You knew what they did in a solemn
that are more important than to spend.
Oh, this is going to be good. All right. Kash Patel. I hope he handles his business. Deepak Chopra is a complete douche for anyone who doesn't know. Complete fucking charlatan, spiritual scumbag who pushed the COVID-19 agenda. Okay, I want to show you something. I want to show you two things. I've told you this many, many times. Many times. Only the black woman and black man can save Western civilization.
The UK being turned into the sort of place that everybody else is running from. Somebody has to defend it. When people come to a country, they should want to be a part of that country. We are not a hotel. This is our home and we need to look after it. It's not about bringing the culture from the other place and turning the UK into the place you've just come from. If I wanted to be in Nigeria, I would have moved back to Nigeria. I don't want to recreate Nigeria in the UK. And I think that there are many people who come from countries where they want to recreate what they are familiar with in the UK. That is bad for social cohesion, and it is bad for the very things that made Britain what it is. There's things that I call liberal values, free speech, equality under the law. People don't understand how special this stuff is. Freedom, that being treated the same no matter who you are, whether you're the poorest person or the richest person, the presumption of innocence, something that's thrown away with cancel culture. Got to fight these things. I know what it is like to live in a place that doesn't have these things. So it's very, very precious. And I will die to protect those things.
Bam. So much. It's so potent hearing the message from her. Let me give you one more. Just to give men and women equal time. Only the black man can save America.
really believe the white male in the United States is by far the most marginalized group of people in America, because you can practice racism on them. You can call them all types of things. They're supposed to turn another cheek. We've kind of like flipped it now. I'm aware that people that are white can't say certain things. They can't make certain comments, especially when it comes to race and black people, because of the sensitivities of slavery, racism, Jim Crow, etc. What that's allowed essentially is for minorities to have a louder voice in the arena of politics, culture, etc., without any real pushback for fear of being called a racist. I've noticed this discrepancy where whites can't necessarily defend themselves or say what they got to say. I say a lot of the that they think. If a black person can run around and say black power and we need to keep the business black and we need to support black families and you need to go marry a black woman, I think a white person should be able to say, hey, let's keep the race white. You should be able to marry a white woman, white power. It has to go both ways, because that's completely antithetical to what Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, they all fought for was what? Racial equality. I genuinely believe the white male in the United States is by far.
Slater, I'm going to disagree, Sevan. That's fine. You can disagree. For me, from outside of my eyes, the power of it coming from a black woman and a black man in a society full of cowardice white people, and I hate to outside of the use of comedy, I hate to distinguish people by their skin color, but it is so potent to hear that. Those types of things coming from people who look like that. It's huge. I was called a honky once. Is it racist? No. That was a black man? Yeah, kind of. He probably got he looked like he got Arab parents too. And I'm just throwing this in there. I'm just throwing this in there because I feel like I neglect the Asians. So let me just throw this in there while I'm, I'm gonna just throw this in there just to give equal time to the Asians. Here we go.
How to distinguish Asian accents. The Chinese accent sounds like a frustrated ambulance. Stay with me. You know how a siren sounds? Ow, ow. Now imagine, then I go faster. And some people don't know what I'm saying. That's the problem. The Korean accent sounds like sleepy drums. Positive. Please eat breakfast because everyone should be very fit. Don't fight me on this. The Vietnamese accent deletes a bunch of consonants, so it sounds like their voice has bad reception. You don't like my English? What I supposed to do, man? I can't control. Better just shut up and eat the McDonald's cheeseburger. What a bullshit. And the Filipino accent sounds like their mouth is cooking popcorn. I live on the fourth floor facing a 7-Eleven. My family, they're beneath me on the first level. Hey, don't give my friend peanut butter or she cannot breathe. How to distinguish a
this guy. Imagine if this guy was your buddy. You would just be like nonstop. Can you just do accents for me? That's become one of my favorite things about Taylor is all the accents he does. Oh my goodness. Do Judy next. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay, that's the racism part. Oh, this guy pissed me off today. I really like this dude, but this shit really fucking annoys me when people do this. I really like cancel Ian, but this shit really just annoys the shit out of me. Listen to this fucking nonsense.
I want to remind us all that when you are a millionaire and a billionaire, you can buy anything in the world. And that includes all the jets and cars and mansions. That includes all the drugs and drinks and girls in the world. But I want to just remind us, as we're going to be talking about child trafficking tonight.
10% of the United States is millionaires, and being a millionaire does not mean you can buy anything. You can, in California as a millionaire, you can barely fucking afford anything. Let me tell you what, when you're a millionaire in California, these are the things you can do. You can pay your electricity bill. You can fill your gas tank without worrying if the price of gas is $4 or $5 a gallon. You can buy organic. You can, You can pay for the repairs on your car, you know, like new tires. But you cannot, in California, you are fucking still living, very modestly. Oh yeah, there you go. Brad H, you can live in California. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to think that somehow. Pat Lang, really 10%? Yeah, I think I saw that. Let me see. How many? Let me just type in. I'm just gonna 10% of USA is millionaire. I'll define millionaire for you here in a second too. A millionaire is someone who is a million. 2024, the top 10% of Americans had a net worth of $970,000. Yeah, it's your net worth. So let's say you have a $2 million house and you have $1 million in equity in it. I'm throwing those people in as millionaires. Now, if you're making $1 million a year clear, like after taxes, if you're making $2 million a year and you're taking home $1 million, then that maybe that's who he's talking about. And you have to be able to do it consistently, not just once. You have to be able to do it for 20 years straight. In 2022, 12% of the U.S. households had a net worth of at least $1 million. Those are households too. So maybe Pat, maybe you're right. Maybe it's half that because that's households. That would be husband and wives together. One 1% of the population has the U.S. population has a net worth of $12 million. I would think you need $1 million in the bank to be a millionaire. So what would be the bank? Like your 401k, your savings account? You wouldn't say if you had the equity in your house, you're a millionaire? I know this millionaire. I know this very wealthy person who told me that they don't ever allow their account. I forget how much, but they never keep more than $2 million cash on hand. That anytime they see it go over that, they make some sort of like investment, property investment. But there was, and they explained the entire thing to me, but I forget. I forget the reason, but it was some reason for taxes. Yeah, I'm not saying what I'm saying is true or not true. I'm just saying based on the metric that I have or that I'm using. I have $1 million in equity in homes, but by fucking no means am I able to buy whatever I want. I'd fucking love a new car. I'm not getting a fucking new car. I'd love a new minivan. So Ian, stop lying about money. And most people don't know anyone who makes $1 million a year. If you know someone who's making $1 million a year, you'll know their shit's just different. Oh shit. What happened? Why is he crying? No, he's not gonna have surgery. Avi's not gonna die. He has a broken toe. Jesus Almighty. I wanted to RFK's sister is coming out blasting him, but I wanted to make an open editorial based on her post. This shit is just crazy. Listen to this. This is Robert F. Kennedy's sister, Caroline Kennedy. You think she gives good head? Here we go.
Bobby, my whole life, we grew up together. It's no surprise that he keeps birds of prey as pets, because Bobby himself is a predator. He's always been charismatic, able to attract others through the strength of his personality, his willingness to take risks and break the rules. I watched his younger brothers and cousins follow him down the path of drug addiction. His basement, his garage, his dorm room were always the center of the action, where drugs were available, and he enjoyed showing off how he put baby chickens and mice in a blender to feed to his hawks. It was often a perverse scene of despair and violence. I've known Bobby my whole life. We grew up.
Dear Miss Caroline, being charismatic is cool and not a crime. Taking risks is cool and not a crime. Showing off is absolutely a completely normal and fun male quality. And the fact that he was addicted to drugs is sad, and it's nothing that anyone's proud of. No one wants to be addicted to anything. And people who've overcome addiction or who are dealing through overcoming addiction are some of the most wise people that I've ever met in my life. They have incredible empathy, and they have a deeper understanding of how the world works. And they usually make for great, compassionate friends. And there's very few things that young men enjoy more than feeding reptiles. Having a friend who has a bearded dragon and a bucket full of cockroaches, and he throws them in there, and you all sit around and laugh and watch it, is a very normal, enjoyable male behavior. And someone who's raising birds of prey seems like one of the coolest, funnest things that someone could do as a young man. So on behalf of healthy, strong, loving, cock-carting members on planet Earth, you're a bitch. Thank you. Douche canoe. Imagine having relatives like that. Sevon projecting again. 100% projecting. 100%. What else is there? Clock stating the obvious again. Yeah. I would say Bobby was a dick. He didn't let his birds out to hunt on their own. Okay. I feel I'm with you. Do you remember being a little kid and hearing stories about the past, and you'd be like, fuck, my grandparents lived in a fucked up time. Wow, people used to be really stupid. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? And you're like, God, I can't believe that happened. Oh shit, a Great Depression? Wow, people thought like that? There really were black slaves? People got enslaved because of their color skin. You know, when you would hear that shit and you're just like a little kid and you're like, what? Oh my God, I live in such a better time. Tim Walz, the governor of Minneapolis, Minnesota, the governor of Minnesota. The governor of Minnesota set up a snitch line so you could tell on people who weren't obeying COVID fucking blah, blah, blah restrictions. This is unfathomable to me. Tampon Tim. What did I say? You mean Tim Walz? What did I say? Tim Walz? Walz? What did I say? Tim Walz, yeah, the governor of Minnesota. Tampon Tim. Listen to this shit. This is a lady who called into the snitch line.
I rode my bike. I was not wearing a mask. Past groups of people jogging from CrossFit. There were groups of 4 and 5. They weren't wearing masks. They were not social distancing. I wasn't wearing a mask on my bike either, but I wasn't riding with people, and I was trying to stay. I rode my bike. I was not wearing a mask.
I rode my bike. I was not wearing a mask. She's calling a tip line and reporting CrossFitters.
Past groups of people jogging from CrossFit. They were
CrossFit. I'd never want to capture a raptor. Why try to control an animal like that? You just don't want to have deep relationships with nature, Clock. You're just not interested in deep relationships with nature. You're a humanist or whatever. She does high rocks for sure. No, she's dead. Just even listen to her voice. Wonder if she's still alive. Great question. Man. I need to come back on planet Earth another time. I want to do a run where that shit doesn't happen. You guys hear about the girl in the United Kingdom who is sending text messages of herself, video text messages to her boyfriend's current girlfriend, to her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend of her farting? She got arrested. She was holding her phone by her butt and farting in it, and then sending those text messages to her ex-boyfriend's current girlfriend. She got fired. Welcome to the United Kingdom. Man, the United Kingdom is fucked up. Yeah, that story's nuts, isn't it? You saw that story, David? Crazy. What is going on in the United Kingdom? Hey, we on Kill Taylor. Taylor's farted many times. Ooh, that switcher looks nice there in the center, doesn't it? What is that switcher? I want to click that. How do I get rid of this ad? Okay, there. A Welsh woman fined. Oh, a Welsh woman fined, hit with restraining order for sending malicious fart videos to partner's ex. She was smirking throughout. A Welsh woman was fined and hit with a restraining order for sending her boyfriend's ex-partner a series of videos of herself farting as part of a bizarre harassment campaign. Rihanna Evans, 25, pestered her boyfriend's ex with multiple videos of herself laughing while cutting the cheese directly into the camera. It was purely malicious. She was smirking throughout the video, finding it hilarious. But the victim didn't, prosecutor Diana Williams told magistrate in the Wales courtroom. Yeah, they arrested this chick. Evans' lawyer argued that their gassy client was drunk at the time she sent the taunting toot tapes, and she suffered from mental health problems. Evans pleaded guilty to pursuing a course of conduct amounting to harassment. A magistrate imposed 15 rehabilitation sessions, 60 days of alcohol abstinence monitoring, and 2 years restraining order. Like, dude, just block the person if you don't like what they're sending you. Welcome to the UK. Hi. Are you going to wear that boot for 4 weeks now? Good boy. Oh, good. Oh, he was? Oh. General Milley and Anthony Fauci have lost their government-paid security detail. No more private security paid for by the taxpayers for Comrade Fauci.
Security detail for Anthony Fauci was terminated last night, and I'm wondering if you have any comment
about what?
The security detail for Anthony Fauci was terminated last night, sir. Do you have a comment?
No, I think, when you work for government, at some point your security detail comes off. And, you can't have them forever. So I think it's very standard. If it would be for somebody else, you wouldn't be asking the question. The question is very fair. But, you work for government. We took some off other people too. But you can't have a security detail for the rest of your life because you work for government. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
feel partially responsible if something were to happen to, say, Dr. Fauci?
No.
She asked, would you be partially responsible? Would you feel the journalist asked Trump, would you feel partially responsible if something happened to Anthony Fauci? Trump says no.
Or John Bolton?
No. You know, they all made a lot of money. They can hire their own security too. All the people you're talking about, they can go out. I can give them some good numbers of very good security people. They can hire their own security. They all made a lot of money. Fauci made a lot of money. They all did. So if they, felt that strongly, I think that certainly I would not take responsibility.
The security.
Bam. I love it. All right. I got to pee again. 2 pees in one show. That means the show's over. Love you guys. Great show. Thank you to Hunter, Alexis Raptis, the callers, Matt Burns, Trish, David Weed, Barry McCockiner, Christian Kettler, Mad Marv, Slater, Mike Sandone, Devesh Mahara, Devesh Mahara, Indian guy, Indian name. Let me hear you say it, Devesh Mahara. Kenneth DeLapp, Brady Libby, Corey Leonard, Brianna. Okay, I got to pee. I can't do anymore. Love you guys. Bye-bye.